Guess we roll for that one.
If you guys don't want to do a roll, if someone just wants to claim it, I'm okay with it. If not, we can just do rolls.
Fine with doing a recap.
Okay. If you want to do it. It's all yours.
Okay, so last session we began with the title card, the lunar arrival, and then started out after the title card with the plummeting of the spaceship. We had the view when we saw it falling, and then we went to the keeper of the book, who was up to something, and then he observed this event where this all these little pieces of metal and then these three sort of big hunks rained from the sky and landed on this plateau. He went over to investigate, successfully navigating some environmental hazards on the way. Some stealth that didn't quite work, but he didn't get attacked, so he thinks it worked. Creative stealth. Some use of mutant powers, which was cool. He discovered that there were some people, a couple of whom he recognized as wearing clothing from a settlement that he knows, or at least clothing styles that are like that of a settlement he knows. He didn't recognize any of the people. Had a very large gun. At least one of them did. On the plateau, and they were shooting at something. The smoke. Couldn't see, despite making a lot of attempts to see. Then proceeded to make his way into the second level, where he investigated the ship, where everybody was dead, which was unfortunate. Then, knowing now that it was a ship, well, knowing it was a thing that was conveying people, some form of vehicle, he went up to the top, which is where, which now I'm going to cut back to the other set of the story, and there was also the fact that his stealth was motivated by the fact that he heard some lockjaws howling in the distance. Now, cutting over to the other side of the story, we had our lunar arrivals on Luna's game, and they were descending to Earth. Things didn't go so well, and there was definitely some turbulence. The ship ended up breaking in multiple pieces and crash landing, and we had some host of the party was a success at taking system strain from the landing. But we did have one incident, I believe, with Will's character, who was not so good at handling the turbulence as it was going down. So there was a crash, and then we had some intrepid leadership skills from Skyler's character, who was actually pretty effective at keeping people from panicking too much. Bress was pretty effective at that. While they were in the process of falling, getting people to put on the oxygen masks. We never found out if the oxygen masks worked. We know they were there. Then, ship crashes, everybody get, Bill's character, name is, Ashley. Ashley successfully revived a whole bunch of people who were in pretty bad shape. Eureka went about trying to open the door, and she went about trying to open the door quite a while, mostly unsuccessfully. So she got a box. She got some help from a box that she managed to convince this lady to give her, and the box got pretty messed up. But it was able to prop open the door enough for her to get it open. While Ashley and Bress made their way to the sort of pilot area, saved either the pilot or the co-pilot. We're not really sure, but we just were calling him the pilot. The other ones were dead. Some loot was obtained. Some resources were used, mostly medical resources, to keep people from dying. And we were up there, getting some loot. when the Lord Keeper of the Book encountered Reka, had a bit of a brief conversation. Reka proceeded to go back in and be yelling, and the others came down. We had some more conversation, where we all began to make our way out. We also had some encounters with the suspicious guy, the young man who does not seem to trust the Lord Keeper of the Book. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure I would trust the Lord Keeper of the Book in his situation either, but he definitely does not seem to trust him. Some really awesome salvage parts were taken from the shuttle, due to Brez rolling very, very high on present. And we managed to, with some teamwork, and with the Lord Keeper saving a falling child, make it down to the second level of the plateau. And then, I believe, Reka and Brez still up top of the second level, of the third level, about to descend, along with the suspicious guy. We were beset by lockjaws, who emerged from the bushes and the shrubs and the small trees, emerged from them and howled. That's where we left off.
I think that was a pretty solid recap. How does everyone else feel about that?
Yeah. Unnecessary detail, but good. That's a bad thing, I should say.
So I think for this game,
Put a lot of details in.
what we'll do is, and maybe this will give you guys an incentive for being like, I want to be the one to do it. I'll let you have your Apoco point back, Steven. How's that sound?
Oh, okay. That sounds fine. I'm cool with this. Means I put it back to 1 instead of 0.
God, I should probably do something to make that more convenient for you guys. What I could do is I could put, or at least maybe just for myself, I could do like tokens on the map I have where all your stats are. I could do something like that.
I apologize if it was overly detailed. I was just trying to capture as much as I could remember. I didn't know I got every specific role.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. If anything, it's more good. It's great.
It's
Okay.
it's good.
And like, especially me, because I have Pokemon.
John, I would say that if Steven hasn't made it apparent at this point, that the way you worded that would discourage people from giving detailed recaps. So
Yeah,
maybe don't say it that way in the future.
I am bad at saying words.
I believe in
Not
you.
like me.
One of the many portions of playing tabletop role-playing games is learning how to socialize with people.
Oh, I realize that. It's just, me don't do good words.
Maybe,
Have the chat.
Maybe what I'll do before next session is get like some gasoline barrel tokens or something. See if I can get something that looks similar, so there can be like a full one and an empty one, and then we can have a visualization.
Sure. I'm cool with that as an idea.
For now, I'll give everyone. Let's see if I can do this. If this works, can I give everyone a rusty car that's not too big? Oh God, it looks weird. Sure, there you go. Rusty cars for everyone, except for John. Everyone else has a rusty car. That's your Paco point. I don't know why. Okay, that's why. You just need to stretch it out a little bit. There you guys go. I don't know how many of you are actually looking at this, but...
You get a car. You get a car. Everybody gets a rusty car.
And I only have 2 different types of rusty cars, but if you guys would prefer another one, I can hook you up.
I'm fine with the rusty car.
Okay. With Steven that point back, and then we can jump back into the place we left off, actually, because this is our cinematic universe. It would probably open up with like a recap along the lines of what Steven did, maybe some flashbacks, a couple different scenes from that. choice pieces of dialogue as there normally is.
The beginning.
And God, I had a title for today. What was it? This episode would be titled Light's Arrival. With an S at the end, plural, multiple lights. Or maybe it's a person named Light. One of those two.
Death Notes?
Sure.
Hopefully not that.
We come across a book.
Oh God, no!
I mean, one of us has a book.
But it's not that kind of book, thank God.
And their nickname is Light. Or maybe it's their alter ego. Or persona? Are those different? I don't actually know.
Persona, I would say they're different. Because, like, Persona, I can really get into this, so I'm going to stop myself.
That's fine. A little sidetrack from me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm going to get sidetracked as well. But I was like, oh wait, I'm going to go on a long tangent about hard time.
I haven't decided yet if every session we have is going to have a different episode name, or if it will be more of like a kind of a meta way to keep track of what kind of adventure we're on right now. I don't know if Light's Arrival will be just this session, or if it'll be, 2 or 3 sessions, something like that.
Right.
Well, it'll end up being something like that. Yeah, so we're coming back in to episode 2 with some lockjaws. At this point, we actually see them coming out of the woods. I already gave you guys a description of them. But this is the first time that most of you are seeing a lockjaw at this point. And they're about as gross as I described them before. I will describe them again, just because it has been a few weeks. It's a new session. Keep us up to snuff. So imagine a medium-sized dog. If it had a brown coat, a very long snout, except for when it opens its mouth, you see multiple rows of teeth on the inside, and its lower jaw actually splits open into 2 pieces. It's known for making really disgusting sounds. Lord Keeper of the book would know that, and you guys just heard one of them, so I guess at this point you guys would at least know one of them. It also has very weirdly shaped feet. It has long, skinny legs, and then 3-pronged, all in different directions. I can't actually make my finger do it, but 3-pronged little feet that all go in opposite directions. Yeah, I don't know. Imagine a rectangle. Yeah, it's like a rectangle.
Okay.
Except for they split out.
They have very strange feet.
And Stephen would actually know that the reason for that is because they're actually really good climbers. It's used for grabbing, making like a stable brace as they move up and down things, specifically rocks. Though they can use it for other terrain.
Definitely explains how they got up onto the plateau.
Yeah, you would actually know they'd be much faster than pretty much everyone else at getting up the rocks, getting on top of the plateau.
Yeah, he can do it faster because he can fly. But otherwise, yeah, they are speedy climbers.
I like to imagine it as like just very quick, like if you've ever seen like a mountain lion climb a tree, like a quicker version of that. Even though that's quick enough, to scare someone. Maybe it's more of just a stamina thing is actually a good way to put it. Like, they can do it for long distances, unlike a cat that's only going to do it to get, like, at most 40 feet up. At least in my experience. I don't know. Maybe they get higher. I've never seen one in a redwood tree. And the last noteworthy feature of them is that all of their fur is extremely spiky. It looks like someone took a hairbrush and just went opposite of the grain. It all flew up. And on its back, it's particularly thick. And you see that a lot of the fur is in these big chunks. That's Lockjaw. I guess a few things that Lord Keeper of the Book would know, we brought up last session, is that they're primarily scavengers. They're pack. They are a pack creature, though, and if driven to it, they will be pack hunters, though they are primarily scavengers. And they can make the most out of pretty much anything that still has meat on it, even if it doesn't. They're very good at cracking bones, so getting stuff inside of them, primarily marrow still, thank God. The apocalypse hasn't taken that away from us. I don't know, has anyone here not tasted marrow before? I've had it in soups. It's actually pretty good, at least when it comes to, like, bases. It's better than it sounds. Yeah, there's two of them approaching you guys very slowly. They've exposed themselves at this point. You can see them. They're not hidden within the tree line anymore. And they're slowly walking towards you.
Where are we in relation to the second half of the where the second third of the ship where there's tons of dead bodies?
The one that you looked at the inside of?
Yeah.
That's on the next plateau down. You're in the middle one right now. The portion of the ship you haven't explored is here. Remember, because there's three layers.
Onto the low level.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to explore that ship because there were the guys shooting. I went to the second level and explored. I went to the third level.
Yeah, second level had all the dead people in it. First level was being shot at.
First level was not being shot at.
I would have gone down, then up again. Because he went up and 2, 3.
Yeah, I guess that's my bad, because I thought you, avoided the first floor, or the people fighting on the first floor, and then explored the rest of it, going to the wreckage. That's fine.
If we want to say that's what happened, that's okay. We can do it that way.
No, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I'm not going to retcon stuff. I hate retconning stuff. So we're going to go with what we clearly went with.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask, like, where are we in relation to the ship with the dead people?
So you guys are at, like, the you just got off, like, the Rocky Mountain side of this plateau, and you just got down at the base. If we were looking at a map with cardinal directions, you guys are about as... You're, like, on the western end, farther to the south, at least comparatively to the rest of this level of the plateau. And then all of the debris on every level of this plateau is south, and for this bit of debris for the mid-level, it's southwest, or northwest, sorry. I said south for all of it, didn't I? I meant north. All the debris is on the north end. It's basically almost as close to the opposite end of this plateau as it can be.
Okay. They're not. It does not look like they're trying to get past us.
To the wreckage bodies it.
No. And we're talking like a few hundred meters away from
Okay.
the wreckage.
Okay.
So
Right now, the Lord Keeper's book is a little bit ahead of the majority of the group.
I
I think Reiko was doing Overwatch, essentially from up high, up top. Just she was keeping guard as she was waiting for everyone to go down. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So we've got two lockjaws. They're approaching the group. Two seems very low for the number of lockjaws. You do not normally have such small numbers. There would be more of them. Lord Keeper thinking. The Lord Keeper thinking. Actually, we want to roll for who would be reacting first among us.
No, not yet. You see that they start to, now that they've come out of the tree line, they start to follow it, kind of not away from you guys, but opposite of the rock, slowly getting closer to you guys.
Like they're sort of fanning out like this.
No, they're both moving here. Is this on the left-hand side for you guys? I don't actually know how Discord broadcast.
It's on the right. It's on the right.
That's on the
Okay.
right.
Okay. So it's gonna all be inverted for me, so I apologize as I get used to this. Over here on the left-hand side, that I'm using my right hand for, is the plateau level that you have right next to you. And basically a wall. There's a tree line that goes like this around you guys. Quote-unquote tree line. This is the tree line that it's not as thick as the one on the lowest level, but it's also way less on fire than the one on the lowest level.
Less smoke.
Tree line. So you guys are like down here, and remember we're just using rough distances right now. You guys are like down here, most of you are all the way down, and then at the end of this tree line, the lockjaws have started to come out. They're out of the tree line, and now they're slowly walking just outside of it, kind of in your guys' direction.
Okay.
Yeah, the Lord Keeper of the book is going to move himself because if we use that same example. Okay, which hand am I showing? Which side is it?
I had to use my right hand to show the left side. I don't really care. You guys got the visual now. I don't think we need to keep doing it.
Okay. The Lord Keeper
had positioned himself between the survivors that climbed down, and Forrest. So he was sort of like here were the survivors, and here was him, and then the over here. Lockjaws came out of like this side, are coming around. So he's moving from like here, here.
Okay.
He's moving to put himself between the survivors and the two lockjaws that he can see.
Okay.
He's going to try to keep about the same protective distance, same distance away he was from the survivors before. Basically giving a little bit of a... They would have to go through him, or go past him, to get to the survivors.
Okay. But as a note, if
hostile, so he's moving.
okay, as a note, if they don't if they just keep staying next to the tree line, they aren't actually gonna get that much closer to you guys. They'll still be some distance away, but there will be a point that they are closer than they are now.
He's going
to basically keep himself between them and people as best he can, moving as they... What he's playing. He does draw his sword.
Oh, something important that you would know, Lord Keeper. Like a lot of creatures of this make, Lockjaws are faster than humans.
Yeah.
So he's going to position himself between Lockjaws and the group. He's going to draw his sword. There's sort of that sort of blade drawing ringing sound. The sword slides free of the sheath that is hip. The sword sort of shimmers as catches some light. Like I said, it's sort of the one bit of his attire that doesn't look ramshackle. It was this blade. Looks like it was actually forged by people who knew how to forge and smelt stuff.
Nice.
To some degree. So the shining sword he draws, he sort of extends it as he adopts a ready position. And calls back, Lockjaws. They're dangerous and they're fast. They might not harm us because they mostly attack vulnerable groups or scavenge. And there's food. He points towards the crashed part of the ship where he told everybody previously who were there didn't survive. The sword. He points with the sword because he has both his hands occupied. He points with the sword and then returns to the normal ready position. He's yelling this fairly loudly. I'm just not going to yell. It's so hard to do that voice yelling.
That's fair. I know I sound better, but I'm still not going to be doing... I'll let you guys know when that's resuming. I'm still too sick to do voices. As you're saying this, the Lockjaws continue to make their way next to the tree line. You there, John?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry for not posting my camera as well, because I'm in the area that's is not the best suited for him. So,
It's fair.
but I'll be ready in my bed and just fighting up creatures in defense.
Okay. At this point, they've made it, and this is just after a handful of moments, maybe like 2 minutes at this point at the speed they're walking. A lot slower than they could be moving. They've made it to like the midpoint, like as opposite of the ridge line, while looking at you guys that they could be.
Where's the best place to get back down?
Next level of the plateau.
Come on, just fly over.
Well, the place that has the least amount of smoke, because remember the smoke's really bad down there and it's not great up here either because it's all drifting in that direction, would be where that opening was, that clearing. There's going to be the least amount of smoke around there because there aren't any trees there.
That's where the guys with the guns were.
Yeah.
He does not want to take the refugees past the guys with the guns, or towards the guys with the guns,
That's fair.
because he thinks that that's bad news. Oh, I think he's going to keep waiting. Hoping the others continue to finish climbing their way down. I believe at this point is Bress, Reka, and the guy with the pistol who's been suspicious.
Yeah.
Suspicious man.
Hey, you know, maybe you ask him his name, he might give it to you. Maybe not you.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know his name, so I have to label him somehow.
The suspicious man. The suspicious young man.
So
The Lord Keeper's hoping that the rest of the people are going to be climbing down while he's doing this, but right now he's waiting. Once the Lockjaws get fast enough that they're farther from the other side where they came from. He's going to he would turn back to the others. They're down. Say that. Right, we should leave them to their food. We're going to go. And he point the other way. I will help everybody get down. Because the other path out of here leads to the men. Why don't who are not your friends?
If you guys need a reference point, you guys are on the more southern end of this shelf, and then the open area where Lord Keeper of the Book saw some men firing into the woods is central. So if you guys were going to get down onto the lowest level, you would either need to be north of them or south of them. And if you were north of them, you would be pretty close to the last piece of wreckage you haven't explored yet.
I think it's minus to take us down.
Okay.
There might still be something that they know about. They can scavenge from there.
Good call.
Yeah, Brett definitely has it as a priority to look for other survivors. There were, three sections that the ship is in now. Aren't many Lunarians on the surface. Keeping any Lunarian alive is a priority.
The Lord Keeper did not get the chance to look in that one. He said he only knows what happened to the second part. I think we need to have people make their way down other than because we have two PCs up on the rock.
Hey, Skylar?
Yeah.
Lunans.
Lunans, okay.
As dumb as it sounds, that is the proper term.
It sounds much better, but okay. Lunanites.
Yeah, Lunites? That's not bad. I haven't heard that one.
Okay.
Under NPCs, I have it as Luna Gambit survivors, but Lunans works.
Lunatics.
Yeah, lunatics. Lunaphites? Right? Is that when you like something? You're... Because phobe is when you're like afraid of it or allergic or something like that?
Lunaphile.
Lunaphile, there we go.
Well, I think that actually, unless I think Breaths and Ashley have both made it down, so we were just waiting on the teenage kid. I think Breath had actually made his check, and Ashley was a little slower getting down because she didn't, so I had to kind of take a side path.
Yeah, it's just Rika and then the youth that are up there right now. Suspicious, yeah. That would be his name if it was a CRPG. Suspicious youth.
Okay, I slowly climb down, and I'm going to slowly move towards them, keeping my eye trained.
He says slowly like he has a choice. Okay.
Yeah, just no sudden movement.
Just sprout wings.
You can do it faster.
I'm trying!
Great idea. I love it. It's so simple, Steven.
I'm trying!
Okay, yeah, if you wanna give me an athletics check, that would be great.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask for so many of these. I'm gonna ask for all the athletics checks. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought it was Steven's too, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh, that was my
fantastic perception checks.
So that's not great.
Yeah.
That's enough for you to fall.
Oh.
Yep. Yep. The lowest just to put things in perspective, average DC is 8, and the lowest one the game says you should ever call for is a 6.
I know.
That's unfortunate.
Why don't you give me a D6? We'll see how much damage you take from this fall.
Oh no, that's a pet that you kill me. Oh, come on.
Okay, 4 damage. That's not bad. You see, if I remember, yeah. You see Rika fall like 20 meters down to the ground, making multiple like stops where she hits a piece of the rocky outcropping as she tumbles down.
Looney Tunes style?
No, not at all. She,
I actually reach up my hand and be like, I am relatively unharmed.
you see one of the survivors look back at you and say, relative to what?
Current situation.
Yes, 2/3 of your body's destroyed.
Better than mostly destroyed.
You're now covered in a bunch of muck. You like get up and you have to like spit some blood out of your mouth because that's how it always works in the movies. All the blood is from your mouth for some reason.
It'll take a lot of blood.
But this is like it's a gritty show, but it's not that gritty. It's like HBO gritty.
Oh no, it's The Walking Dead.
No. Is The Walking Dead HBO?
No, The Walking Dead was, I believe it was AMC.
That sounds right.
Yeah, probably.
AMC's The Walking Dead.
See, when that came out, when The Walking Dead was a thing, I think it was like season 3 or 4 is when I actually started paying attention to it. And I just bought the DVDs, so never had to tune in for it.
The Game of Thrones was an HBO.
Yeah! See, and I knew that one, even though, once again, still bought the DVDs, never watched it on TV.
Right, so we got a suspicious youth still in there now. After Reagan took a tumble.
Yeah, once she gets up, he'll go down. As he said before, he'd go down once everyone else did. We'll see if this suspicious youth can climb down. I would like a couple die. Thank you. I don't remember. Is there a way to... Probably like this. There we go. Not the simplest way to do it. Here. Okay, that's not great either. It's fine. It's passable. But he could have got down faster. So the suspicious youth makes his way down the outcropping and ends up being a lot better off than Rika.
So we, what's the Lockjaws been doing? Have they just been continuing their movement? Or?
Yeah, at this point they're almost all the way to like the opposite. You can see them, it seems like they're gonna go all the way to the opposite ends of the clearing from where they started.
Right. Want the Lord Keeper to move back from his position
Between them and the group.
to
To the group. The other way.
Like, right. You need to follow
Follow
me.
me.
Get
Get you down. Through your ship. Down over there. 3 survivors. I couldn't check that one.
Careful.
Those are pack hunters? Be some sort of ambush? And man, very dangerous guts. See them. You need to run. You're going to need to run. We'll fight. Said, under the protection of the Wasteland Knights, this is his sword. Starts to move in the direction, assuming people move with him. If they don't move with him, he's going to stop. He's not going to go without the people.
It sounds like you found another of our parts of our ship. Were there any survivors in that one?
Oh, I only corpses saw them.
That's strange.
You hear a few gasp.
Could you tell what had happened to them?
Like, packed. They fed. We're... Okay. Go. Think the concept of restraints. Okay. We're restraints. Okay. On this is where they would sit. And they were, high up. And then where it struck the earth. We must hurry. The limited time for air, nature, the raiders get here. Already saw some, and then there's far, far more deadly things. Lockjaws.
Okay, let's check the remaining part of our ship then. Yeah, Bress will sort of motion for the group to move and follow Keeper of the Book where he leads.
Going to need staying a bit ahead. If they need if there's like a lockjaw ambush or something, wants them to run into him. He wants them to have to go through him again. If there's any more waiting in the woods, like those ones who are trying to get behind and flank. To be ahead, so that at least those who would be coming out towards the group would have to go through him. He's going to lead to that part of the woods, then try to lead to the southern edge. The edge that we talked about. That is
The northern edge.
I'm sorry. Lead to the northern edge.
Northern edge kind of sounds like a resort you would go to. Probably a ski resort.
Yeah, it sounds like a ski clothing line. Like North Face.
North Face.
Fur jackets by Northern Edge.
I love it. It's gonna be the name of my company. My startup company.
So he
leads the way.
Okay, Suspicious Youth is gonna get up front with Lord Keeper of the Book. And as you guys walk away, the Lockjaws are maintaining the same distance they had at the tree line, but they are going to follow you guys as you're walking towards the opposite end where they initially came from, as you're walking towards that tree line.
I'm going to stay in the middle of the group.
You don't need to be fast, Rika. You don't need to be faster than the Lockjaws. You just need to be faster than the people around you.
Look, that's kind of the situation I'm in.
If
The Lord Keeper looks back. Does he see any of them? Any of the people who had weapons? The back, like between, the back where the lockjaws are.
There's only one person that has a weapon pulled out right now, and that's the Suspicious Youth.
Rika had a gun.
Oh, yeah, and then the player characters. Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant NPCs.
Oh, yeah, them too. Sorry. I meant both.
But I guess we don't know where exactly in the group Bress and Ashley are. So
Ashley's wherever Bress is deciding to walk.
Bress also likes his part in the center of the group. Center of the group time. Let's hide.
He looks back and he sees there's no one with weapons drawn near the back.
if the lockjaws were to charge, have free reign. Look at the suspicious youth.
As a note, before you start, Steven, there is enough distance that you would have time to react if they did try charging you. Not much, but enough.
Okay. I think he's still going to turn to the suspicion. Dave. Harry. It's good. You're gonna just keep you alive. We need to be here. Or help in the back. Bring off the creatures. Charge them. We could die. And stop things if they come from the front.
I get past. I understand their motivation. I'm not worried about them. You. I don't get your motivation. Yes, we're yet to see if I'm worried about you.
Help people. You do. I do. Sort of nods. See. Keep going.
Okay. You guys finally get to the tree line and you start making your way through it. Lockjaw's still following you, but once they get to the tree line itself, as you guys have made your way through it, through the trees, they stop. They don't go into the tree line. And you're gonna make your way towards the wreckage? Is that what's going on, or are you just making your way to the... I mean, if you're going to the northern edge, you're going to be by the wreckage either way. I just want to know if you're going there or not.
I guess we make our way towards there. He can point out to the people, to the people wreckage, and they can look in through like that, through the hole in the door. Be the people that he's telling the truth. They want to. Take them on a path that leads to the northern edge by there. We get down from there too.
Remember the entrance that you went into? You had to fly up to. It would not be easy for someone to...
Right, there's the door.
They could get up there. It would just be way harder for them.
It's fair. He is going to lead back in that general direction because that's also the way down.
Okay, yeah. Can I get physical saves from everyone from the smoke coming up from the plateau down below, and a little bit from up here as well? Okay.
Everybody's failing.
Okay,
With Steven.
Well, the Lord Keeper of the Book has his mask, and also significantly more used to the ready air down here, to the air down here, and to things like this. So, sort of knows when to hold his breath from the gusting smoke. Bother him as much.
So now we're going to start talking about suffocation. There are some default rules for suffocation. If you guys feel like I need to go over them, I will. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about how this smoke is affecting them. I'm okay. I'm actually, you know what, because we're streaming this, I'm going to read it. I also see most of the people here looking to find the rules, so I'll just read them real quick. It's like 5 sentences. Suffocation. A character can go without air for a number of minutes equal to 4 plus the character's constitution modifier. Just listen to I couldn't hold my breath for 4 minutes. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds crazy to me. But that's the case in this game. The time is halved if the character is performing strenuous activity. A character that runs out of air begins suffocating, and each round they must make a successful physical effects save throw or fall unconscious. An unconscious character will die in 5 minutes unless air is provided. So I would like it if we go around and we figure out how many minutes everyone here can hold their breath.
If it's 4 plus con mod, then Ashley has 4 minutes.
I didn't hear that, Steven.
4.
Okay.
Briss is also 4.
John?
That makes 3 4s.
4s.
4
All
fours.
4.
Nice. No one has a con mod? What the heck?
I mean, I wish I had a
Likely to have a con
mod as soon as we get a level that lets us increase. As soon as we get an effect that allows us to increase it, my con is 13.
Okay, so the reason I'm asking is because it's going to be taking you guys some time to do all this, and unless you just voluntarily choose to inhale this smoke, people who failed their saves are going to have less time. Because you can hold your breath, but when the smoke's flying directly in your face, it's a little different. So if you failed your save, which is everyone except for Lord Keeper of the Book, then you're only going to have half as long to get out of the smoke and find some fresh air. Feel free to be creative in the ways you guys decide to do that. But the only way that you guys are going to be able to last in this is if you basically give up all sense of I don't want to say security, though that might be the case. You need to pick up the pace. You guys need to hasten your speed, like dramatically. I'm talking about like running, though that would potentially, depending on how it goes, that could lead to you guys having less time to breathe. And you can see the people around you aren't doing that well either. But
Is it still possible to back out into the fresh air?
if you go back out to your clearing, yeah. It's no, I mean, there's still smoke there, but like out, it's not as bad as it is here. It seems like the southern end of the shelf has, I mean, it still has smoke, but it has a lot less.
So where
The men with guns.
The
Clearing is with the men with guns. For the book does not want to fight men with machine guns. I don't think he understands it's a machine. I don't think he knows he would call it a machine gun. He does not want to fight the man who has a giant repeating gun.
I mean, they are a thing out there. So if you want them to know what it is, Steven, that's 100% okay. They're not common, they're extremely rare, but they are.
Yeah, he would call it a machine gun. No, he knows of the concept of it. I don't think he'd call it a machine gun.
Okay, that's fair.
They have
Their own names for a lot of things.
Very secular group of yours.
In this sort of society, I thought it's true that
Like normally at this point, a lot of geek names for things.
Yeah, but like, light machine gun is a term that you could bring up, and anyone who knows what a light machine gun would be like, okay, yeah, that's a light machine gun.
Okay, then
Sure.
It's that kind of thing.
Sure.
Like, if I
Wasn't
say
sure
revolver,
how,
you guys know what revolver means, right? They've been around for a while, but people know what they are.
How much was that kind of knowledge? The proper names for things.
That's fair. I thought you were just really leaning into, like, how secular your group seems to be. How they have very specific naming conventions for quite a few things.
You have very specific names.
So you guys can go down the southern end. Remember I said, like, the opening on the lower plateau is very centralized. But if you're trying to get to the third piece of the wreckage, it would be faster to go from the northern end down here and make your way to the wreckage, as opposed to going down the southern end and then making your way around in the tree line.
What the Lord
Keeper's trying to lead them to.
So risk, reward, there's a balance here.
He'll start picking up the pace. He realizes people are flagging.
I will do, just to see how... Okay, it actually seems like the majority of the group is doing pretty well. Majority of the survivors are actually dealing with it pretty well. They still only have a few minutes.
He's going to lead as quickly as he can. He's going to lead them as quickly as he can on the most direct path that he can. Some of his navigational skills, and he did have a good view of all this while he was flying over it.
Okay. You wanna... How do you feel? I believe navigation is actually a skill, isn't it? Wanna give me one of those?
Is actually trained at this.
Give me one of those with a +1 from your view earlier.
Sure. Just give me a second while I get that set.
I like games where navigation is an actual skill. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially when you're any kind of nomad, which a lot of these roleplay games you are.
It's actually a pretty good roll. That's an 8.
Nice. Okay. You make your way over to the piece of crashed ship that you made it to earlier. And remember, this is a little bit more open. The smoke is still really thick. It's not going to be avoided because it is going in this direction. So you still have to deal with that. But you guys do have the teeniest bit of a clearing here from the impact of this ship and the debris it's flung past it. So there is a little bit of an opening here. Not as big as anything you've had anywhere else. No more than like 20 meters away from the ship. There is this crashed segment of the ship kind of sticking out at an angle, big chunk of it hanging over the edge.
So he's going to point up the ship and say, get her in there. It's like we have time to check. Smoke's too thick. We'll need to get down. Points to the edge. Can carry people. I did 4. 5. Click. And he is going to basically immediately grab one of the unconscious people, because we still have unconscious people we were carrying.
If I remember correctly, it was 2? Or no, was it 3? I think it was 3 unconscious and 2 died, unless it was the other way around. I think it was 2 died.
2 were unconscious but stable. 1 woke up because of the magic.
Oh yeah, from Ashley. Okay, you're right. 2 unconscious. I forgot about that. I'm sorry.
Suspicious? Wasn't the suspicious man the one she saved with Sims?
Yes, it is.
The suspicious youth is the one she saved.
Oh, I honestly didn't remember that. I'm sorry.
So he's gonna grab one of the
The
wounded
people
people
who's been being carried, and he's going to. He is actually going to, notably, go out far enough, refresh his breath, and get that, so that person can get breath, and then go down.
Okay, I like it.
And then he's gonna come back up for the next.
He's gonna put the guy down. I don't remember what the gender of the unconscious. I think one unconscious male, one unconscious woman.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a couple. an older couple.
Alright,
So he's gonna grab the. He'll grab the man. The man was closer. Take the man down. The man down. Up. The woman.
Okay. Are you going to be helping anyone else up and down?
Will help anyone who is willing to allow him to do so.
Okay. I think that the willingness of the vast majority of these people is dependent on our other members of the party, specifically Bress, because Bress has propped himself as kind of this figurehead for the group right now.
Oh, we just jumped.
I see.
He's back.
And the ship is in a mini clearing, you said. So do we have a temporary respite from the smoke while, like, near the ship?
No, it's actually going in this direction. It's easier to see here because there isn't a tree line that's actively burning. But the smoke is going up this direction, so it is still pretty thick.
Oh,
It takes the system strength.
Thank you.
I mean, my thought is that there are probably oxygen canisters in the ship which would help us to breathe, but that requires trying to explain to a Terran what an oxygen canister is and how to extract one from the wreckage, since we can't get in there. So, yeah, that's not going to work.
Okay. What I will say is, Keeper's gonna say that, what he said. But before he actually... Okay, I'm gonna not take the system straight yet, because he is going... If Brett is going to say something, as after Lord Keeper says it, he's not gonna just at first abruptly go, if there's someone actually saying something to him. I'm gonna wait to put that on there until Brett says
Okay.
anyone else.
Here's what I'm gonna do. If you guys are gonna do retcons from here on out for anything, I don't care what it is, I'm gonna charge you your fucking Apoco points.
Well, the problem there is that I was saying what you would do.
I know, and as God would say, patience is a virtue. So if you all slow your roll, it won't happen again.
Sorry.
Or maybe as God after the apocalypse would say, slow your roll.
Okay. The Lord
Keeper said what he said.
Yeah, and if we aren't in a clearing, then time's a factor anyway. Every minute counts. So yeah, Bress is going to step up to the Lord Keeper after he gets the unconscious people down and say, "Can you take me next?" Just trying to communicate to the group that this is a good idea, and get taken down hopefully.
Of course, I gotta carry you. Bress.
Like,
Take them on down to the unconscious couple. Give me a leadership roll, Bress. This isn't you specifically addressing them. This is you showing them what's going on. Okay. Yeah. I think everyone is willing to have you fly them down, Lord Keeper of the Book, except for the suspicious youth who will climb down after you have taken everyone, or while you're taking the last person down.
okay.
And the Lord Keeper will, I think, after
So
they take Bress. Sounds like a weapon, right?
We did not hear that, Skylar.
Yes, he does.
Okay. Awesome. And
And I did hear that.
Okay.
Okay. So after we got Bress down, he would say to Bress, the weapon.
Go.
Go.
Start
They're bringing people down. he prioritized people who have weapons.
You cut out when you, at least for me, when you mentioned what you said to Bress. I heard everything after that, but I didn't hear what you said to Bress.
He said,
your weapon
weapon out.
Guard them.
And the unconscious people.
Okay.
Go back up.
You're cutting out.
We've lost you.
We lost you there, Steven.
Man down.
It's
There we go.
decided to not function. Okay.
Nice. We can hear you.
Yeah. Right. Would bring down one more person who had weapons. Then he would start pushing down people who didn't seem to have weapons, or a bunch of villages defend themselves as well. Leaving people with like Reika, he knows has a weapon and he knows seems ready. The end.
I think Reika's the only other person you've seen besides Suspicious Youth with a weapon.
Help me down.
Thought most of them had weapons of some sort of weapon of some kind. Not specifically drawn.
No. I mean, at least not visibly. Like, none of them are carrying weapons or anything like that. You probably see a few of them.
Pilot had a weapon.
Okay, that's true. He did. But I thought you pulled a hand axe off of the dead one, and then the pilot that is alive had a handgun on him.
Yeah, he had a pistol.
So I guess she'd bring the pilot down. Okay, actually, if Reika says that she wants him to bring her down, then he will end up bringing down the people who don't have weapons.
Okay. As a rule of thumb, instead of providing these either ors, if we have something like this, I want you guys to just be like, I'm gonna go talk to this person, and then go talk to Reika and figure out which way it's gonna go.
Okay, well, he goes up to the top. After dropping Skylar. Bress. Sorry. After dropping Bress off. Goes back up. He's gonna come over to him when he comes back up.
You're the active member right now. Don't leave it open to the floor. Generate whatever you're looking for.
Hey. Comes up.
Looks around at the group. Reika has gun. The pilot has gun. Suspicious Youth has a gun. Suspicious Youth Suspicious Youth climbing right now.
No, he's gonna wait for everyone else to get down before he goes down.
Right. You. First. If you need to stay here, guard. You need weapons down there.
Ashley will go ahead and take a few steps forward. Well, if you need weapons, then I can offer mine as well. She pulls out her little crudely crafted laser pistol.
Okay. Has volunteered. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Go on.
Oh, so
Ashley volunteers. Lookkeeper books to grab Ashley. There's not really much time here, so it's basically the first person with a weapon volunteered.
Actually, we'll let you grab her, but you will notice she's not exactly the most. She has hesitance and reluctance to it.
The Lord Keeper takes Ashley down. Drop very quickly. Bress to explain what to do. He basically just drops her, doesn't say anything. Back up.
Okay. When the Lord Keeper disappears with Ashley, the Suspicious Youth... I can't believe that's what we're calling him.
He hasn't come up with a name yet.
I know.
He hasn't the opportunity to ask. He's
Kind of busy. He's trying to keep people alive.
Suspicious Youth comes forward, and he yells out, "Are we really gonna trust this grounder? How do we know there's not anyone in there? What if he's with the men with the guns down there?" We should look for survivors.
Swallow
Well,
suffocating smoke. Sorry.
Rocket Prince Rose says, what other option do we have?
We climb up there and we see if anyone's alive, and if they are, we bring them down.
I'd rather take chances.
Okay. It's fair.
Survival doesn't always mean going after others. But I appreciate your sentiment.
You see that the vast majority of the rest of the survivors around you, Rika, are supporting what the suspicious youth is saying. Noteworthy exceptions, at least out of people you guys have directly interacted with, are the mother and her child. She definitely wants to get her child out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Though she is very clearly sympathetic to any hypothetical survivors that are still in that portion of the wreckage. But yeah, it seems like the majority of the people around you, Rika, are in support of some of the people getting up there and seeing if any survivors are up there.
She just kind of looks over and says, she just kind of looks over and says, I'll try to protect you to my best ability, but know that I might not be able to. Like, she's clearly somewhat worried.
The suspicious youth. So I can't say that with a straight face. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm enjoying the fact that we got the team name.
I don't think anyone can say that with a straight face.
The suspicious.
I'm trying. Normally I can purge this stuff from my system. Okay. The suspicious youth is, he's gonna call out real quick. Are there any volunteers who want to climb up with me? And we'll actually see. You remember the couple that's still conscious, the younger couple. The man is gonna step forward after he whispers a few words to his significant other, and he'll say, "I was a guard back on Luna. I can climb up there with you, and I can take care of myself." Anyone else? Looks around the crowd. You don't see anyone else volunteering. I need a few of you to stay down at the base of the wreckage in case anything happens when we're bringing them down, or we need some kind of emergency support of some kind.
I kind of just lift my gun in confirmation.
Yeah, and you'll see a couple other people say that they're willing to stay by the base. Like literally a couple, like two others.
Which not completely abandoned.
Not completely, but partially. And I would say it's about around this point that we have Lord Keeper of the Book come back up.
So from the smoke appears the metallic winged armored man shoots back over the edge of the thing. Sees
Like four people walking away from the group towards the wreckage.
nothing there.
Just risking your lives. Looks out at the.
I'm just going to turn towards you and say, look, I don't believe there's anything that can stop them. Nor will I try. I'm not the most persuasive of people.
See one of the ladies in the crowd, the one who was with the man who's going to climb with the suspicious youth. She looks over at you, Lord Keeper of the Book, and she says, "Most of us here believe there could be somebody in there. Even if you didn't find anyone, maybe they will. And as long as my husband is climbing up there, I will remain hopeful."
Okay. This is awkward.
We're
We're in between multiple competing priorities here.
We haven't even been on this planet a day, and there's already a divide in parties.
I mean,
I don't mind.
I mean, I kind of expected this.
I, the player.
A person who's not from the same place as most, I expect that. I'm like, the Lord Keeper, he's thinking right now. He's the tank.
Turns out in a group of 15, there's going to be people with different opinions on how the same thing should go.
Oh yeah.
Look,
He's just thinking right now.
Look, it might be cool if probably was to get the fuck out with you guys, but
Okay.
My persuasion rolls are at the bottom of the clip. I'm sorry.
So,
my persuasion rolls are not that good at all.
See,
question.
Skylar, they believe Bress. They think it's okay for Lord Keeper of the Book to take them down. It's just some of them have been convinced that they shouldn't go down yet.
Yeah,
so,
how dangerous does it look for them to climb to that opening that he got in through?
Definitely more dangerous than climbing down that hillside, because they need to get over the edge of this plateau to get to the hole that you came in from.
that's what they're trying to do.
Yes. They're gonna have to climb up the top of it and then climb down the side from that to get in the hole. Just a little bit, but still.
Okay,
He's feeble.
We'll take you, fly you
Into the hole.
to
To the suspicious man. Suspicious youth. Fry you in. You see for yourself. We have to hurry.
The suspicious youth is taken aback a little bit, and he says, we don't need your help, honestly. Get the rest of them down. We'll go check this out.
Keeper of the Book, was it? I believe if people wish to get, if people wish to investigate and possibly get themselves killed, I am not one to intervene with it. And I don't believe you should be as well.
It's my duty to safeguard those who need aid.
She just kind of looks at him with a disappointed look.
He's... Oh, okay. Continue. Sorry.
I understand your righteousness. I just don't believe this must wise.
But you sort of points over at the woman and the child and the others who are still there, who still want you. My help. Need my help. Not want my help. They may need it. I help you first. And he will go and he will ask the mother. Want me to take you, your child first. Can't take you both at once.
My child.
Right. Grab the child.
He
He will take the child. Cast grab the child. He will, grab onto the child. He flies the child down.
Are you trying to avoid making it sound weird about a mutant picking up a child and flying away?
because I'm just trying to make it not sound creepy because it's not. It's literally.
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time.
So he will take the child. He will take the child down. Then he's going to again. So get down, drop child, go up. He will try to aim going up, but at a slightly different angle, so he is in the general vicinity of below the ship. That maybe if someone falls, you can try to catch him.
Okay.
Just sort of going up at a slightly different angle than he did before. Maybe he can potentially help if that happens.
I want to let you know that if you are taking all these people down, the people that still want to go, they will definitely make it. If they do make it, they will make it up to the hole before then, and maybe even make it in, depending on how well they're doing.
Okay. He's focusing on getting the people who want to go down.
Okay. Yeah. So, of the 11 possible people for, of the 11 survivors that aren't player characters, I mean, 7 have been brought down, including those unconscious. And there's just 4 left. 2 of them at the base, and 2 of them climbing up. And, by the time you get up there, Lord Keeper of the Book, they've already made it inside. And you can tell, because, like, you look down, maybe you see there's no one climbing, you go down to the base, no one's there, you fly down below the smoke, there's no one at the bottom of this plateau, and then you fly back up, and you're like, okay, they must be inside. They rolled 11. They made it up.
Yeah, they did well. And he was worried, but the thing is, that was one of those
Awkward moments where it's just like, you know, his duty is to do good, you know, and to help, but he couldn't help them both at once. One group really wanted him to help, and the other did not.
You're only one man.
Yeah, only one night.
Okay, because this is all taking time, with Lord Keeper of the Book going up and helping those people, what is everyone else? Is Rika staying up top?
She doesn't really want to, but as long as the people there are probably going up, she's probably going to stay, so.
Okay. So I guess she would be at the base as well. So there'd be 3 people at the base, 2 people who've got inside.
Yeah. She just kind of reluctantly standing there.
I also think it's great that the guy who can avoid the smoke if he wants to is the one who made his physical save.
He's trying to help people as much as he can.
Okay. I want to make a note then. Because there's still some distance away. If the people that are down at the base want to make it through this without potentially suffocating, then you guys can't actually wait. You just need to book it to the wreckage or to that clearing. Because the wreckage is far enough on the plateau with the wind blowing that way, but there is a small portion of the wreckage that you could get to that wouldn't have smoke. Most of the wreckage does, but it's clear enough. It still has smoke, but it's clear enough that you could breathe. You guys can't stick around is the thing.
Literally, like I said, when I was taking everybody down, I did fly each of them out far enough so that they could get the fresh air to refresh their timer before
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna take a while to get to either of those. It would have been, there probably would have been casualties if you hadn't done that.
Yeah.
As a note, the open clearing is much bigger than the place where the wreckage is, and it is closer. So it wouldn't take as long to get to it, but you guys do have the air required to get to the wreckage. You guys can actually see the wreckage from here in the distance. There's a lot of smoke and a lot of trees in the way, but you can see it's over there, like a few hundred meters away. The problem will be getting your way there, because you can't just do a straight line. You got to navigate your way through this maze of burnt down trees.
If it's straighter and it's more visible, despite what Keeper said, Briss is gonna indicate that they should head for the clearing.
Okay. Yeah, I think everyone who's down here with you will follow you there, Bress. You guys are basically going to head south, following along the rock formation, and you'll be able to make the way to a plateau in about a minute.
All right.
Okay. Are you going with them, Ashley?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys, you run your way down there, and we're going to talk about this for a little while before we jump back to what's going on upstairs. Upstairs. You guys run your way down there, the mom having to pick her child up to be able to keep up, which she's totally willing to do because this is a very dangerous situation. And when you guys get to the edge of the clearing, when there's still a little bit of forest left, you find 3 dead lockjaws, maybe 5 meters away from the edge of the clearing, and they are just full of bullet holes, like anywhere from half a dozen to a dozen apiece. And you can see that about halfway down the clearing, you can see 2 more of them that are separated by about like 20 meters. Also unconscious. I won't give you any details unless you approach them, though. As a note, if you do want to have like proper air to breathe, you will need to get towards the central portion of the clearing. You'll need to get there to avoid any of the smoke. It's the farthest place away from any burning trees.
Then before doing any investigation or anything else, that's what Briss is guiding people towards. Being kind of conscious, keeping an eye out for what did this, and avoid any more lockjaws because clearly they're around. But no time to linger, really.
That's fair. I guess one thing I should bring up, I know it got brought up last session, but opposite of all this carnage, you guys would be running towards these tall, not tall, like 4 foot tall rocks, like 2 of them slightly separated. You guys run your way over there. Basically just having to move a little bit past, standing pretty close to the lockjaws. You move a little bit past them, and you guys, you can breathe in some relatively fresh air. This is one of those few times where I feel like I use relatively as not just a filler word.
Okay. So we get there. What do we see? Do we see any people? Do we see any more lockjaws? If we get a chance to look around, is there anything here of note?
Give me a perception check.
I'd like to look around too.
Yeah, throw it out there. You're more than welcome.
Perception. Wisdom, I'm sure. Okay.
Okay.
Show off.
Eyeballs.
That was a good roll too.
Was that a natural? Oh no, it's a dirty 12. Okay, still appreciated. Yeah, Skylar, you actually hear a very high-pitched almost unaudible whimpering sound coming from behind the rocks to the south. And when you look over there, you can see just barely sticking out from behind one of the rocks a limp human hand with a little bit of blood around it. Looks like more like splatters as opposed to a pool.
Okay. Bruce is gonna call. We've got someone wounded over here, and gesture to Ashley.
I should definitely go up there and take a look.
Okay, you come around the corner, Ashley, and you probably don't see what Bress was expecting. You see 2 more lockjaw bodies, one of which is completely limp, another one which is trying to push itself up against a wall, and you can see 2 dead humans, one of which was the hand you saw before you came around the rock. They both look like they have they've been chomped on multiple times, and you also see multiple large spikes in their chest.
Just like the pilot.
Yep. Exactly like it.
Actual call out. The people are dead. I don't know if these are ones that Lord Keeper person was referring to, but the only thing living downhill this way is a barely breathing lockjaw, whatever it is.
You can see that it has multiple large lacerations on it.
Does the lockjaw look defensive in any way? Like it would snap if I tried to approach it?
Yeah, when you come around the corner, it doesn't manage more than like a really low growl that is like interrupted by a whimper before it resumes. But you can see it's now very weakly trying to push its way up against this wall back from you.
Ashley is going to get down on one knee and she's gonna grab a piece of food. She's gonna grab a piece of her food and be like, "It's okay. I don't want to hurt you." Basically, try to coax it into being a little less aggressive. So maybe she could try to tend to his wounds and perhaps tame as a lockjaw.
Okay. How do you want to go about doing this? Do you have anything specific in mind?
Well, she's going to start out by offering it food as kind of a way of, it's kind of a peace offering.
Okay. Like that. This is a weird one. I hadn't really thought of this. I kind of just imagined. To be fair, I thought you guys, mostly for out of character reasons, I figured you guys were gonna kill some stuff at the beginning of the session. I would let you give me like survival check would be the most applicable here.
Alrighty.
Though, and this might sound weird, I almost feel like there are a couple skills, including some kind of animal-related skill that should exist.
Okay, just as a note, because it's relevant for me, vehicle land actually also concerns handling animals, because
Does it?
concerns handling of mounts and stuff, and they're lumped under that.
Okay.
Into that. That's why I have a bunch of. That's why I have so many. I put a lot of points into vehicle land.
Where does it say that about that skill?
I believe it was under. It's in the information about mounts.
Oh god, I don't know where that is.
I don't remember
exactly where that was either. I just know that it was in the information about mounts.
Okay.
For non-technological mounts, mounts like animal mounts, you use vehicle land as a skill.
Okay. I will take your word on that, and we'll have Will roll a vehicle land, and I'll give you a +1 bonus from the food offering. If you wouldn't mind, Steven, I'd appreciate it if you could figure out where that was from. If not, I'll just look for it after session.
I'm
looking for it right now.
Okay.
So vehicle land with +1.
Yeah. So unless you have vehicle land train, that will just end up being vehicle lands with a 0 modifier.
Yeah, straight roll. Be wisdom, right? Or skill? Would still be.
I think this one.
Like you.
I think it would be charisma. I feel like it would be charisma, but I could see you make an argument for wisdom as well.
Yeah, page 147 says it's charisma vehicle land to try to tame them out.
Oh, okay.
what I was looking for. I
Great.
remembered.
Thank you, Skylar. Charisma. I think charisma's great, though I could see an argument for wisdom.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good roll.
Yeah, you toss this food offering over to the lockjaw, and you work your way closer to it slowly, trying to bring a hand up to it. And you said that you wanted to do something medical related to it. What are you trying to do with it?
Basically, I'm going to try to get a gauge of its wounds and try to nurse it with what I can. If not use, maybe go ahead and use a stim on it.
Okay. If you want to diagnose it, we can get a tech medical for that. We'll start there.
Alrighty.
I mean, the game never says anything about explicitly splitting up checks, but yeah, that's what's happening.
Alrighty. Tech medical, I can make that. Oh,
Come on, really?
Double
Yeah.
one? How's that possible?
You do have the ability to make a reroll.
Oh, yes.
I really want to. I'm gonna go ahead and use my what'd you call it? Pocket.
Apaka points.
A pocket
If
point.
anyone has any better recommendations, I'm cool with it. This is the placeholder word. If we think of something cooler, great. But that's the best idea we have, thanks to Skylar.
I think a pocket point is kind of catchy.
But it's also kind of cringy. It's cringy in that like good fun way that like you get Fallout type games and things like that. It feels okay.
I feel it.
Rob, Skylar.
I'm going to use my pocket phone on that.
Okay.
When you say that, I also sometimes hear alpaca point.
An alpaca.
Love it. Oh, let's get that reroll.
Sorry.
Good.
Much
Okay.
You got
a much better roll.
Yeah.
That'd be an 11 actually, since +1 for +1 bonus to int.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you guys reroll in this game.
Well, the bullet point that we can't seem to figure out how to put into.
I think Skylar had the best solution that I've heard so far, which is you make a note of your actual points somewhere lower in your sheet, your actual, not points, your actual stats, and then you change the number in your stats up top so that they would reflect that bonus.
My
idea, I just had this idea. What if I put point in the assisted column?
I mean, that works too.
Yeah,
I already have a note of it that I have the +1 to int. I can just add it to. That way I don't have to change any stats.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, they're multiple. The primary wound is 2 lacerations across the left side of its rib cage, the one that's exposed to you. But it also looks like on the left front leg of this lockjaw, a tendon close to its pit has been slashed. Sorry, I'm at right side, opposite of you. And it looks like that is the same case with the back right leg as well. So left side rib cage, and then on the right side, 2 tendons.
Okay.
That lockjaw is definitely hurt.
The creature will let me get close to it. I would like to go ahead and use one of my patch stims to try to heal up someone's more grievous wounds.
Okay. Yeah. It has let you get close to it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to see those wounds on the leg. And they look, as a note, they do look very precise. Either a doctor like yourself or a very skilled warrior. One of the two was able to pull this off. This is not something that could happen by accident.
Right.
Yeah, which stims did you have?
Patch stims.
Okay. I honestly don't remember what the different stims do. At this point, I've completely forgotten.
Patch stims are basically like the Tylenol equivalent. It helps cure headaches as well as minor wounds.
Okay. But that's just added on to a regular stim, right? That's what like the different types are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
On top of being like a little bit extra dose of healing, it's Tylenol.
Okay. Yeah, you spray on this patch stim first onto its back leg. Then a little bit of a resistance at first until it realizes that it can actually start to use its back leg. And there's a lot less resistance when you move up to the front leg, but you get a little worried because the lockjaw does try and use its left leg to push you away. But you're smart enough to know that like you should go work on the rib cage in front of you, try and gain its trust again. And after you do that, you try and go back to the front leg, and it somewhat reluctantly lets you spray the rest of the patch on it. And if you hadn't seen the lockjaw in its condition a few moments ago, you wouldn't have known anything bad happened to it, with the exception of the fact that on the left side where the rib cage is, there's like noticeably missing fur.
Right.
When you gave it food, did that take an actual ration to feed the lockjaw?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's cool. Hey, we might eventually have a lockjaw friend with Will trying to tame one.
I exited out of the video screen to look through some of the links, and I can't remember how to get back.
Just click on the link.
On the call.
On the icon for the call.
Okay.
So the one game I assume you guys are going to be bloodthirsty in, and then you're not. To be fair, though, this is the kind of thing I should expect in these kind of games, because, like, Pathfinder Adventure modules, they promote you being bloodthirsty loot whores. This game's still going to promote you to be a loot whore, but but it is trying to do everything in its power to tell you that fighting is never a good option because it's extremely lethal.
Yeah,
And the Lord Keeper knows that he knew that it was possible we could ward off those 2 lockjaws up there, and because it was possible, he wasn't going to fight them unless they made it.
Yeah, and speaking of loot whoring, while Ashley is with the lockjaw, Bruce is going to check out the bodies. First of all, to see if they're loot knights, does he recognize them? And if not, yeah, what have they got on?
Okay. Definitely not Lunites. That's the nicest sounding one so far, to be honest. I like that one the most.
It's better than Lunin.
I don't. I was trying to use the
Sounds
like
like one of those
Tal'Doran, Tal'Din logic from last week.
Lunin sounds like one of those things where when you're like goading somebody to like fail at like hitting a baseball, or like miss it and all that stuff. The Lunin thing or whatever. Maybe that's just unique. Maybe that's unique to around here. But people will like taunt the like big smaller softball players with like random sound things. Like
Here we go, hey batter. So like, hey batter.
Oh yeah, so 100% unique to you.
When Mills gets the reference. That's cool. That's cool.
No, that's just a regional thing. Or at least it sounds like a regional one to me.
Yeah, it might
might
actually
even just be a regional thing from.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay,
Skylar
The
no,
sorry,
Brest
Brest
the Four. But I blame him.
It's
The
good.
rest of the move forward, actually the veterinarian.
yeah. You have any applicable culture skills to identify these people?
I mean, the only culture enclave that I have is Irontown. So
Okay. You could try that. Otherwise, it's going to be a hard no.
okay.
Actually, no. Not. I won't tell you where they're from, just for spoiler's sake, but roll me a culture check that's not Irontown, so it would be untrained with the -1 penalty.
Okay.
If you can give me a really good roll, I can give you some information. Well, I can give you some information either way. Something weird that we have to consider with this game is that unlike the basic assumption for Other Dust, like you guys aren't from this place with the exception of the Lord Keeper of the Book. So like stuff that a lot of people would be able to just be like, okay, yeah, this guy looks like he's from here. Is just right now an impossibility for you guys. You can't judge where they're from because you have no idea any of the places around here with the exception of one that you've heard a little bit about. Yeah, unfortunately that's not going to be enough. I will describe them. We as the viewers would recognize these men as a couple of the men that were here earlier. One of the men that was standing behind the rock with just a pistol drawn, and then the man who was feeding the bullets into the machine gun.
Giant is not there.
No, the man holding the big man holding the machine gun isn't there, and the man who was next to him. Neither of them are there. So at least two of them moved away from here.
Yeah, because the guy who was bigger than the Lord Keeper, but not taller than the Lord Keeper.
Lord Keeper's very tall, but that guy was like, okay,
Swole.
swole.
I'm
I'm still going to be here. I just muted myself for a moment. I have to do something real quick.
That's fair. I haven't really thought about like the different styles in like too much detail when it comes to clothing, because the assumption of this setting is that like everyone just wears whatever the fuck they can find, or for more primitive clothing, whatever they can make. And I imagine there's actually some degree of that. These guys have very shoddy looking clothing. At least even relative to like some of the people you have around you, because pretty much everyone from Luna that's on the ship is some kind of degenerate, because worthwhile people were not put on here. In your case, there is an exception, right? Because you had to put effort into getting on here because you saw potential in this, but you know everyone else was forced on here.
Yep.
So even compared to the people that you showed up with, these guys don't look great. Some very, very bulky looking like cloaks, hooded cloaks that they both have on. They look torn up. Like I said, these guys have multiple wounds all over them. And otherwise, just fairly primitive looking, tech level 1 clothing. Which is, so does everyone here know their tech levels?
I think tech level 1 is primitive stuff?
So tech level 0 is like Neolithic. It's our hunter-gatherer stuff.
2 is like reconnaissance, 3 being like early industrial, 4 being modern.
No, 3 is our current era stuff. 2 is like steam power, early machining, rifles, that kind of stuff. 1 is just like basic shit you can make. Like the bare minimum you would need to go live off the land by yourself. Which is pretty average for what you have on civilizations in this setting. Tech level 4 is almost never. It's like the glory land. Tech level 3 is really high up there. It's an anomaly. Tech level 2 is uncommon. Normally there's only 1 or 2 in a proper region this size, if that. And then tech level 1 is where the bulk of things are made up. But there are also quite a few tech level 0s on average. They're just the versions of a lot of the people that are out here that just decide to settle down in one place. Because a lot of the people you're going to find roaming around are tech level 0 and 1. It's just in a fucked up world like this, there aren't that many places you can actually settle down that make sense. So a lot of people just travel. And I don't know if it matters or not for breasts, but I will address it. They are both male. One of them is fairly heavily mutated, like visibly. Because, I mean, you said you're checking the body, right? You're looking for loot and whatnot, so I figured you'd find it. Their left forearm, reaching down to about halfway down their spine, is covered in these light yellow scales that seem to, the higher up the shoulder it gets, they get a lot smaller. And then the other man is this older gentleman who's also only slightly mutated in that and maybe he's not even mutated. Maybe he's just sick. We the viewers would recognize this as an advanced degree, like a worst case scenario when it comes to a sunburn. But that's not something you have to deal with on Luna. So you just see this man. You see this older man who has extremely dry skin, which, I mean, dry skin isn't something you guys wouldn't have to deal with, but a bunch of it is peeled away. You see multiple portions of it that are just this bright red. Yeah, we would know he's not visibly mutated, but Bress would. I'm pretty sure he would think this is a mutation.
What?
Loot-wise, if you want to, well, I think I'm gonna continue with you guys doing the rolls, at least as of right now. Let me just double check something real quick. Yeah. Okay. That's not a private loot table. Sorry, I don't think I'm looking at the right one here. Okay. Yeah, they're each. Give me a D20. You're shooting for high.
Did not get it.
Okay. No weapon on this first guy. Another D20 shooting for high. Okay. Yeah, he's going to be wearing some basic armor on him. Nothing fancy. It's just going to be hide armor. So if you want to take it off him, this would be for the younger gentleman, the one that has the light yellow scales. So if you want some hide armor, you can take that off him. That's one encumbrance. It's going to be a little hard to take it off yourself, but you can do it. And then another D20, shooting for high. Okay, just barely. He has one ration on him. And then let's get one final D20. Oof, that's rough. Okay, that's it. A ration and some hide armor.
Boy, these Terrans are cool.
It's almost as if the survivors took most of what they could carry. We're moving on. It tells a story.
Well, Bress will offer the ration to Ashley to replace the one that she used on the locked job.
You still have the older gentleman to check out.
Well, let's check him out as well.
Okay. Following along that same train of logic, a D20 for the weapon. Nice. Okay, definitely have a weapon. Is there actually a table for that? This is a weird table. Give me a D12 -1. Because I have an idea in mind. Because the only table they have for the weapons is a D26, and there's stuff like mag weapons on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he doesn't have this higher end stuff. No, you can give me a D12.
Let me try.
Just give me a straight up D12. And you don't really care if it's high or low. Okay, yeah, perfect. This guy has a revolver on him. And you can roll me 1d6. See how much ammo he has, how much revolver ammo.
Roll. Okay.
Okay, 3 ammo. It's all in the gun. Okay, let's get an armor roll. Once again, you want high. Okay, no armor on this man. That's probably why he's sunburnt. It makes sense. I was gonna make it harder anyways, but
An apocalyptic nudist.
he's got layers on, just not enough. Let's roll for that ration. Want to give me that D20 again? Okay, yeah, he has a ration on him. And then one final D20. Okay. That's it. That's all he has on him. Revolver, 3 ammo, and a ration.
Well, yeah, Bressa's gonna give one ration to Ashley to replace the one that she used and keep the other one for himself.
Oh, and make a note of these. These should be separate. These are dirty rations.
Okay.
So we haven't talked about this yet, so I will bring it up. Dirty rations are somehow contaminated. They come in the food and water variety, just like regular rations. And every time you consume one of these, you will get 1 toxin point. Once you get to 10 toxin points, there's debuffs. Once you get to 20, there's debuffs. And once you get to 30, you die. Every day, though, in the morning, I don't have it in front of me, but you get to make a roll every morning to see if you can recover from 1 toxic point. I think it might be constitution based or something like that. It might be a physical save, I think is what it is. That makes the most sense in this game. But I can look it up whenever. I'll have it. I'll know by the time we actually use them. So yeah, just don't build up a bunch of them.
Okay. And other than taking them himself, he's going to try to pass out the other equipment to people in the group that, if anyone doesn't have armor, pass it to someone amongst the survivors, and pass the revolver to someone without a weapon.
Okay. Is there any direction to this, or is it just whoever you walk up to first?
I mean, he's looking for someone that looks like they might actually be competent, ideally.
Okay, as you're looking, God, no, because all the competent people stayed up top. Yeah, no, there's a person that would probably hop out at you. God, I'm trying to decide. Yeah, it'd probably be yeah. Okay, yes, there is. I actually haven't talked about this NPC, but I can give you a little bit of description of him. There's a mid-20s man. His hair is he has this black cropped hair. It's a little wavy. He has these blue eyes, very rough black skin, and he's tall. He's 6 feet, and he's got this beefier build. He's definitely the biggest guy down here right now. And I have made a note here that he has an oval face with a short mustache. So that's important. I don't remember why, but it is.
So when you say short mustache, are we talking like Hitler stash or?
I don't know. It just says short mustache. I automatically assumed it was very dapper. It's
Alright,
like
Very small mustache.
no. Maybe
Starts making you run away.
it's like a gentleman's stash. It's like 2 little
Oh, okay.
like yin and yang symbols. I don't know what to call that. Where it like curves a little bit, and then there's a little
He's got the goatee.
yeah.
French villain mustache.
He's got the French villain look.
Oh my God, there's a name. I'm pretty sure it's called the Gentleman, but I could be wrong.
How's
The
the
French villain look also works.
Yeah, but that has certain implications. Yeah, you could probably give it to him. Cool. Yeah, he'll put the armor on and throw the gun on. Throw the gun on. Yeah. Checks to see if it's got anything in it. Sees the 3 bullets, puts it back in, cocks it back. Nice. Okay. What if we jump over to what's going on up top now?
Sure.
Or would you guys prefer that we do the 10-minute break before this?
A
break does sound pretty good.
I wasn't sure if we were taking a break because we were ending early, but sure, we can take a
Oh,
break.
okay. That's a good point. What's everyone's opinion on this? I'm okay with us not doing a break, but that everyone has to agree to that for it to happen.
If you don't mind me at least taking a small minute for me to get a quick drink.
Yeah, go. I'm okay with that, but John and Skylar have to agree to it too. I'm not going to skip a break.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're about to handle the stuff up top anyway, so he can go get a drink and I can run to the bathroom and
Yeah.
you and carry on.
John, are you cool with it?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. I'll be right back.
Sorry, every time you guys see me go to the right, yeah, I'm like blowing my nose.
And you have a nice chair.
It's really nice, but I don't know, because I had to put it together myself. It regularly like lowers. It's not doing it right now, but it regularly lowers itself. And in fact, now that you brought it up, I realize I should probably be standing because I haven't stood at all this session. I'm listening. But I am gonna run over and get my window real quick. I'll be able to hear you guys. Is Rika doing anything when Lord Keeper of the Book is going to go investigate the hole in the side of the wreckage?
No, she's really just looking at the danger, so.
Okay, that works for me.
In patients.
Okay. Yeah, so I assume you're just gonna do what you did last time, just fly up to the hole in the wall. Okay. Yeah. You fly in. It still is dark and empty as you remember. Not too much has changed about it. The noteworthy difference is that remember that the majority of the wreckage is below you, along with most of the seats and the bodies. Go figure, gravity. And there's only a few rows above you, and you actually see a couple rows away from you up top. You see the suspicious youth. And down below, investigating the pile, like working their way down to the pile of bodies to investigate it, is the other man that came with it.
So the Lord Keeper looks at the suspicious youth, and sort of looks at others like, great. See, dead. Place is ruined. Good though. The smoke's only gonna get worse. Those outside, less time.
I will fly you all down.
Like, try to show you the best path.
The suspicious youth, who has, you know, as soon as you came in, as soon as he heard you come in, had looked down at you.
The Lord Keeper of the Book
Gets in, looks up, armored helm and all.
The suspicious youth will say, there wasn't anyone in the back row, so... Oh god. Names. I know his name. Sorry, I have so many names on here. So unless Washen has found anyone down there, then we can leave. And you see him, he's gonna start slowly making his way down to you.
Right. Fly you down. Then
Fly down this.
We
We don't have to climb off the ship.
You can take Mahim if he wants you to, but I will make my own way down.
What
What was the name again?
Oh, you can take Washen if he wants you to. I said Mahim.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Hey, let's go with Shadow.
It is a nice name, but it's definitely not Washen.
Right.
So the Lord Keeper of the Book looks down at Washen.
So,
Says,
Washen,
take you down.
Oh,
I'm going to check all of their pulses before I leave. One of them may be alive, even if they can't make noise.
Okay, about how long has it been?
What do you mean? Since when?
How long have the people who've been standing outside, like the people who haven't gotten in here where there's less smoke, Reika and the other two, how long have they been the smoke? Because they probably don't have much time with air left.
They only had, well, Reika only had 2 minutes, so she should probably do that roll by now. But the other people there only have like a few minutes left. So actually, on that note, if we can get a physical effect save from Reika, that'd be great.
You mean the fail right there?
Oh no.
I fucking hate you.
That is a rough roll right there.
Can I please get out of the smoke, or is it really too late?
Like it's too late.
I mean, you can get out of it, but we have some repercussions. That's the word I'm looking for.
I'm just going to tell everyone I'm going to yell breath.
Yeah. Raiko's gonna fall unconscious. She's
off the cliff.
Okay.
I tried my best.
So the Lord Keeper is the guy says he's got to check the pulses. Is Wushen the guy whose wife is out there and says she won't go down until he comes back too?
yeah. Yeah. I get it.
Being the like lawful good character in the post-apocalyptic hellhole is rough sometimes.
Right now, you're essentially the paladin of the party.
Not the farthest off.
He's the knight of the party.
He's definitely the knight. Okay.
The knight in scrap armor.
Okay. The two, like, say, suspicious man, the suspicious youth and the, and Wushen are in the ship. And inside the ship, the air is not as bad yet.
Yes, it's not as bad, because it's kind of sticking off the edge, but it's still slowly filling up with smoke, at least the upper portion of it.
Okay. He's gonna look at Wushen to say, There's out there. Others out there are dying. Smoke. Have to carry them. To carry you. If we won't leave. Unless you're leaving. I can't force you guys to leave. Think about it. It's the chance that they, alive, can be saved. It's the chance to save yourself. I think it's dead.
I've been measuring my breathing and making sure that I'm not panicking. I know that I have a little less than 2 minutes before I have anything to worry about. I imagine my wife and the other people down there don't have as long, so I would make them your first priority. Let them know that we are fine. Sounds like Ivan is coming down shortly after you, and I will get down as soon as I have checked all these bodies.
Right. That would keep the book. Odds to both of them. Back out. And see. Okay, so he sees Reika unconscious. Right there.
Yeah, with Wushen's wife looking over.
Right. He's gonna fly over there. He's gonna grab Reika.
going to as he grabs her, he says, "Husband, I'm there. It's for you to leave. We'll be coming back soon. Taking her first. Takes Reika, so Reika can have air."
Okay. Good call. I'm going to say that you take her up there and you give her a few moments. It actually probably takes a while, probably like a minute before she actually responds positively to the newfound air. But she does become conscious, and you can hear her grasping for it before she gets kind of a more regular breathing pattern as she opens her eyes and looks up at you. Rika, you're 50 or 60 meters in the sky right now, depending on what you're talking about relative to. I'm talking about the middle platform.
Yeah, I'm just going slowly go up and just. Oh dear. This isn't my finest moment, is it?
I personally have a fear of heights, so I would probably be having a panic attack if I was Rika right now.
So, Lord Keeper, is that going to keep her awake?
I knew we should have left.
In hell. He's going to take her down. He's going to put her at the base. Then he's going to go back up. Try to get I guess Wu Shen's wife.
Wu Shen's wife is actually having an argument with the other person there. About who should go first. And they're both arguing over the other person should go first. It doesn't it sounds good, but it's really not good. Wu Shen's wife is I'm not leaving without my husband, and then the person she's talking to, this guy is you're a woman, you should go first.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
Which is a very outdated train of thought, at least on Luna.
Just a hint of misogyny.
I don't know. I know. Okay. I know that's not the case for Lord Keeper of the Book, but it's actually pretty common to have either direction, some kind of gender-based discrimination in the West.
We had that discussion. I remember.
Their way of doing this is interesting, and it might come up later. The Lord Keeper of the Book goes up. Get one of you. I have time for this.
Yeah,
I actually have been pretty good at keeping his voice, right?
Yeah.
I've been pretty consistent.
Yeah, it's been good.
Alright.
I think
He knows that game.
Well, they're about to.
The woman says that she's not going to leave until her husband comes out or she runs out of air. And the man's trying to convince her that she's making a suicidal statement and that she sounds kind of crazy right now. And
I'm gonna grab the man.
okay.
Hey, he can respect
a person who's not willing to abandon their life partner.
That's fair.
So the whole the bit you heard about the you're a woman, you shouldn't go does not resonate at all with him, and he's just like, that makes no sense.
One of them has an argument that makes sense.
One of them doesn't. You have the one who doesn't make sense with him.
This guy must be from one of those less noteworthy families on Luna.
Yeah, so he grabs her, and grabs him. Get down, drops him up by Reika.
Nice.
Back up.
Yeah, he's reluctant. You can see he's unhappy about you coming over and grabbing him, but like once he realizes that she's not going, he just goes along with it.
Yeah.
Seems frustrated, but he goes with it.
I kind of figured she also seemed more likely to
Struggle if you tried.
Motivation.
Motivation is yes, the motivation is very different, and the struggling increases the risk he could drop her.
Want
Want to do.
So
So he goes back up.
Okay, what are you doing when you come back up?
He said-
Question. Did you take the man up for air like you did with everyone else?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. He does that
where
where
he goes up briefly, goes down.
And
Same
are you
circle.
bringing these people down to the clearing? You would be able to see the people in the clearing.
And
Yes, he would take them to the clearing.
Okay.
Because you can see that that's where the group has gathered, and it doesn't appear there's anything hostile there. He's literally going as fast as he can, basically doing a drop off, not even landing properly himself, sort of like dropping them a couple, like last foot or two,
Okay.
back
as quickly as he can. Not much time.
Yeah, it's going to be very tight.
I wonder if Lordkeeper can spot actually tending to the wounds of a
Anything a lockjaw.
I don't think he's paying attention to that.
Plus, the timing would be off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Because remember that the clearing is a distance away from where Lord Keeper of the Book was originally dropping you guys off. So he's basically having to spend 2 minutes to go back and forth. That's roughly what it should be, so that's what I'm going with. So it's taking time. And by the time you come back, you're going to go pick the woman up, right? She's on the ground unconscious.
Okay,
You can grab her, you can go straight up.
Yeah. Not gonna struggle, but definitely needs some air, which is gonna take some time.
So what he's doing, because he can fly, so he's flying higher, taking her back to the clearing. Basically
Okay.
doing both at the same time.
Okay. This isn't good. Okay. Yeah, you're able to get her some fresh air, and then you take her down to the clearing. And let me roll a few dice real quick. Let's do that.
Sorry, we shouldn't have even.
Is there any way he can increase his speed? Like if he does the thing that pumps his dex, if he like roids himself, can he increase his speed?
No, it's not possible.
Okay.
When you come back,
Yeah.
when you come back to come get the last two, to get Ivan and Washeen, they're both still up top by the hole. You see Ivan is unconscious and has a very large puncture wound in his leg where he tried to climb up this blown out hole in the side and pierced his own leg. And you see Washeen has a mask over his face and nose with a pipe that leads down to a very small circular object on his side. And he is trying to he's trying to pull Ivan off of this metal piece that he's gotten himself stuck in.
Okay.
Imagine basically a metal spike, like 1.5 feet long, that he's a part of the ship that's torn off.
Okay, well, the Lord Keeper is going to go, and he's going to try to help Busheen get Ivan off the spike.
Okay, how are you gonna do that?
Oh. Where is he exactly? I'm just trying to get a gauge of the...
He's partially up this blown out hole, like he was trying to make his way onto the top so he could climb down, like they did earlier.
So he ran out of air and passed out trying to climb up.
And he's basically, the thing that's holding him up right now is a combination of Mahim and the metal spike that his leg is through.
Mahim.
I said Mahim again! Washeen!
Washeen. Okay.
Or sorry, we're gonna call him Wushen. His name's Wushen.
Okay.
What the Lord Keeper is going to do, he's going to grab onto him. He's going to try to flap the wings and move back, sliding him off the bar.
Okay.
Sliding
The bar out of his leg. While telling Wushen to hold him sort of steady so he can slide off the bar. Wushen can support. Wushen is partially supporting him right now. Wushen can support.
Yeah. And I think he's actually going to be trying to, like, tell you how, like, what angle to pull him out at. I'm gonna see if he can. I'm gonna see if Wushen can help you out.
Okay.
I sure do hope Ivan got his tetanus shot.
Nope, Wushen's trying to help you out, but it's not giving you a mechanical difference. You're having a hard time judging like what he's saying. Probably has something to do with the different angles you guys are at.
Got over his face.
That could also be. It could be an auditory thing. He is partially muffled.
I'm wearing a big helmet. Covers my ears.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his rebreather he had on his face, but both of those.
I was saying both of those together
Combined can certainly make it an auditory thing.
I think you could give me a survival or... Yeah, I think it's a survival check. I think that's the most applicable thing.
Okay. I'm good at that.
And I'll give you a +1 because of your wings. You're able to pull this out at the right angle.
Okay.
Is there an attribute I should select?
I could see a lot of calls for it, so why don't you throw something at me?
Well, I was thinking I could set it to intelligence with him teaching like the proper way to do it based on his experience with battlefield stuff.
Yeah, I think intelligence is great. That's one of the ones I had in my mind. The only two that I could like see being like or three I could see being 100% no is like strength doesn't make sense because strength is not an effector here. Charisma doesn't make sense. Even Constitution doesn't.
Yeah.
I was thinking either Dex or Int.
Yeah.
Or
Dex or Wisdom, because Wisdom I could also see like you're using your instincts to know how to do it because of the instinct stuff. But yeah, all right, I will. That I'll have the +1. Oh wow, I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
No longer have the car.
Yeah, no car. I'll get rid of a few cars real quick. We got to get rid of Will's car as well. Give me your reroll.
It's a 9.
Okay, this is a... Oh, just for the fun of it, I'm not gonna make a habit out of this, but maybe we see the version that Lord Keeper of the book imagines it happening first, where we see like the Lord Keeper with Wushen's help. He pulls Ivan off and we see a chunk of the flesh remain as a bunch of blood comes out of Ivan. Definitely not a clean wound, leaving a much larger gash. And then we just cut back, and we hear this very heavy breathing, muffled from the inside of this mask. And we see Lord Keeper of the Book very skillfully pull Ivan off of this piece of debris with Bushen's help. And you just have this unconscious, suspicious youth in your hands.
All right, he's going to. So
he quickly looks at Bushen. What's your hair? He's figured out. Okay, you want me to make a straight hit roll or something to be like,
No.
you can figure out that that's hair? Or...
That's you. That's up to you.
I think he can figure out that that's hair.
Cool.
Otherwise, he'd be unconscious, because everyone else was falling asleep. And the concept of a mask is something he's familiar with. There is at least one. There is at least one other unique technological mask thing that he's familiar with.
Nice.
It's not the same thing, but he can understand the concept.
Right? It's close enough.
He's making the logical leap. There. To get him out.
I can't carry
You
both.
both.
Get the boy to safety. I should be fine.
Right. Lord
Keep the book. Ivan,
him
out. Flying him back to the clearing.
Also,
So, because you did say how long it took for these round trips, I'm gonna have to take another system strain because I cannot fly now.
It was a lot less when it was right next to you.
I know,
But
I have taken a lot of system strain for my wings
today to
to
evacuate people, but
because he's willing, he would, I'm gonna be honest, he probably would go up to like where it's about to kill him, helping him, try to save him if he could.
I mean, your max system strain's 13, so like 4 isn't that much.
it doesn't heal that fast.
That's true.
I'm saying he has put in a significant amount of strength in a brief time, helping people
That he
he has problem doing. I'm just saying, I'm definitely keeping track, and so I added that. So he flies Ivan back, drop Ivan off. He's specifically going to drop Ivan off next to Ashley. He saw her do the medical work on someone. I don't know if he did.
No, you didn't see it. The timing doesn't add up.
Well, he hasn't actually seen any of the medical work. He's not going to drop her off right by Ashley, but he's going to drop off the dude with the freaking bleeding leg, the big old puncture wound in it. He drops him off, and then he's going back.
Okay.
Yeah, shit.
This would probably be about the time that Bress and Ashley are done with their respective duties, helping out the lockjaw and looting and passing out the loot. So I imagine Bress was probably actually somewhere close by when Lord Keeper of the Book came in and dropped Ivan down.
Because we now know the name.
And you didn't drop off his dead body.
No, he's not.
Still has a very large wound in his leg that needs immediate medical attention.
That's not the Lord Keeper's skill set. He brought it to you guys.
Figures one of you guys might have something. Because he's got to evacuate the man with the breathing tank.
Washen.
So yeah, first gonna call. We've got another wounded here.
Again.
And she starts rushing back to tend to the wounded.
Goddamn people using up all my supplies.
Instead of using a patch, Ashley's just going to try to use what she can to kind of stop the bleeding. But I am going to go ahead and use my classical, which is flawless skill. As long as I don't roll a natural 2, I automatically succeed.
is fair.
Okay, but if you don't have the supplies to properly heal this wound, doesn't matter how good of a skill check you roll.
That's fair.
Because we're talking about like a 3 by 1/2 wide wound that goes through completely on the leg.
In that case, you will go ahead and use a patch stem to seal the wound.
I have the med kit. But he didn't think to drop it because he's trying to hurry to get back to the other guy to get him out because he's gonna run out of building to fly. He's distracted. He's trying to save the other guy too.
Goes ahead and pulls the other patch stem, starts spraying it on the leg, ripping open the pants where the wound is. Just try to spray as around it as well as into the wound, sealing it up as best you can.
Do you not have your stems on your character sheet?
I do. It's in my equipment. I just ticked another one off.
Okay, well, I'm blind then. Oh, okay, it's in the other.
Yeah.
Okay. As a note, Will, I see that you have your rations on here. There's actually a spot for it above your money where rations go.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to have it in two different places. Have it in the equipment section too or not.
Well, I mean, there is a difference between the water and food rations, so that's noteworthy. I don't know if you were using... If you were keeping track of those separately or not. I don't know how you were doing that.
Hey, I might have water separated as separate equipment.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then I guess as a default, since there are multiple types of rations, I'll just look in your guys' equipment.
I just track my water there because I don't eat.
That's fair. So what are you trying to do to Ivan right now, Ashley?
Basically, she's just ripping open the pants where the wound is.
Okay.
To try to get a better view on the wound itself, and she's going to take her stem and spray around the wound and try to get the corners, try to seal it up as best she can, stop the bleeding.
Okay. Give me a tech medical check.
Okay. This one's where she's going to use her class ability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you roll the equivalent of a nat 1, you're good.
Yeah, nat 2.
As long as I roll 2 ones, I'm good.
Oh, something noteworthy. I don't know if you guys knew this, but one of the ways that you can damage your items is if you do a skill check and you roll a 2 or 3, like a natural 2 or 3. Because then you don't like the only bad thing that happens in that case. I mean, obviously you don't succeed your skill check, but also whatever item is being used gets consumed.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
You did not roll the nat, you rolled the horrible one.
There's only a 1 in 36 chance that happened, so your odds were pretty good.
Yeah.
Better than rolling a 1 on a d20.
You remember I rolled a nat 2 twice in a row last time.
Thank God it wasn't for healing Ivan's leg.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. You use your patch stem, and you help the fibers in his muscles, and then his outer layers of skin. Luckily, there was no bone involved. You help him. You help him fuse back together. Still not conscious, but healed. You wouldn't be able to tell there was a.
Ivan should have, I think, 2 systems right now because he's had systems with him twice today.
And as she's finishing up the Patchwork. She holds up her last stem, like, last one. Try not to get hurt, please.
You make it sound so easy.
And the Lord Keeper is still making his beeline to get shit.
Yeah, you find Wushen. He's actually made his way down the wreckage, and he was actually walking towards the edge of the meadow. You see that he's stopped at the edge of the meadow. Seems to be waiting for you.
Right.
What a competent guy.
He's actually done pretty dang well. So the Lord Keeper is going to go over there.
Imagine how different this would have been if it was Ivan who succeeded his skill checks and Wushen who failed.
Him there. Take you. Is there. There's Sarah. Alright. Hang on. Reach out to grab Wushen. I'm over.
Yeah. You see him as you pick him up. He closes his eyes for a moment as you reach out for him. He just takes a deep breath, and then he's relatively still, at least compared to the vast majority of people you took down today. But he's silent. Are you gonna take him up above? Like, are you gonna give him fresh air, or are you just gonna take him straight there?
Oh, he'll take him up.
Okay.
The opportunity. Sure how much air that mask thing would have provided / provides.
Yeah, if you do that, you'll see him. He'll take the mask off and he'll put it. Basically, there's a latch on the container that he puts it on, and you see him readjust his belt so it's behind him. And actually, he wouldn't be able to do that with you on there. He'd readjust it so his belt's in front of him, and then he'd pull his shirt down over it.
Alright, so he'll take him back to the camp and drop him down next to his wife.
Nice. Yeah, you see that as you like set him down, he readjusts his belt, so now you know about it, no one else would be able to see it, but you know his compartment is behind him, special piece of gear, and he comes over to his wife and gives her a very protective hug. You can tell she was somewhat worried, at the very least.
The Lord Keeper, as he lands, he staggers a bit as he lands. Like taking something out of him to fly all of you much. The wings sort of sag for a moment before they creak and groan as they fold back into metallic cape, the cloak that they normally take. And then there's this sort of long sigh, and then he looks around, he sees Ivan. Ivan's leg is healed. And sort of like his eyes go wide behind the mask, so like the little slits where you can see a little bit of his eyes. They're like, oh, and then he looks at. The saint's touch. It's sort of like else.
Sure.
With the touch.
Good. Cut out for me a little bit there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. He says, if you has the saint's touch, who heals with the touch?
Actually, pipe up. I don't know anything about some of those saints, but I have some knowledge in the medical arts. Field of medicine.
Healing like that. Sing of a fighting spirit, lion of the saints.
That healing. That's just. She holds up a stem. Science. That's all that is.
Be able to use this more than me. Actually going to take the med kit that he has. He's going to take it out to offer it to her.
She'll gladly take it. Oh, thank God. I was beginning to think I'd have to keep patching up all these wounds without it. This will help greatly. Appreciate it.
Alright, so I'm going to remove the med kit from my inventory.
And I will add it to mine.
The reason I'm having a hard time keeping a straight face is because we're talking about how great Ashley is when it comes to medicine, and so far she's done nothing that anyone else with a patch stim couldn't do.
Pretty much.
Well, I don't
We
think
know-
patch stems are
Super common on the surface.
and he
No.
does actually have a frame of reference for what she did.
They're extremely rare. It's just, like, I know she's a medical professional, she just hasn't done anything particularly, like, talented so far.
Yeah. Yeah, but and you know what his frame of reference is, too.
Yeah, stims are extremely uncommon.
Yeah, so, hand that over.
Does the medkit have an encumbrance on it? One.
If you're looking for the information on it, Will, the items page starts on 129 in the book. And I think it's like 10 pages after that. 141 is where the medkit is. I was a little off. It's 12 pages after. Basically, medkits let you use tech medical skills on people to try and fix things, as opposed to having to use a patch stim, or any kind of stim, which are really rare.
Which
You're almost out of now.
Yep.
Yeah,
the Lord Emperor then sees the corpses, sees the lockjaw. Davis. Sure. And leaders care of each other somewhat. Or more. Who more? And those very, very large. Not as tall, but large. Sort of gestures as if very, very big. Bigger than any of you guys. And then may to your ship, other part, may not, if we're treated, could not tell. I'm sorry. Before as he's saying that, actually, you look around, see if you can tell. He does actually survival skills, including the ability to track.
It's gonna take a while. It wouldn't be something you could just tell at a glance. It would take some time.
So he will say, don't know where they went now. Can check. This is unsafe. Risk going to your ship. Other part. Risk might be the man with the guns. Could be there. Or could be survivors. I don't know. Don't want to risk. The few who are here. I am one man. I will do my best to protect you. If you wish for us to try to save any others, you can go there.
We need to check the ship. We need to check for other survivors, regardless of whether these people went there or not. We know that they seem to be fighting these dogs, and several of them died, so even if they were our enemy before, now they might be happy to see us if we're helping them against those. Either way, we need to go to the ship.
Great. We'll, lead the way. If you could give me a moment, if I can determine if they did go to the ship, or is foolish to rush into things. Usually when you can, prepared. It's remote. And then actually, as he says that, he actually laughs at the end. It's sort of like. So. But if family's not known for that. Sorry, even if my family's not known for that. He actually says that. And he's going to try to look around, try to look for the tracks. If he can identify which direction the men left the clear.
Okay. Give me a survival.
Right.
That feels like the best tracking skill to me.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Pretty good at survival. Like he's actually got a +1 at it for, being trained to go.
Hold on, I forgot. I have to actually go to the other screen.
Alright, value.
I'm not going to give you a modifier for this one.
Okay,
Okay, so you say no value? Input? No attribute?
Oh, for an attribute, I think wisdom or intelligence makes the most sense for this.
Okay.
I'll do intelligence.
Yeah, intelligence seems to make the most to me in this case.
Okay. That is a 7. It's not bad.
Okay. And this is going to be our first opposed check.
Oh.
I'm actually going to roll a stealth check because these guys were definitely not trying to be followed.
It's fair.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to find any of the human tracks. You probably can follow them for a little bit until they get to the tree line. And then at that point, you can't really discern where they go shortly after that. But I will let you know that you were able to find a set of 2 lockjaw tracks that go in the same direction.
They
go in the same direction that the tracks initially led?
Yeah. In the direction that the human tracks disappear.
Okay. He will
say that there's lockjaws that don't get
went
that way. Don't know for sure where the people went. They started off that way as well. That way, the direction of the ship?
No, it's so the ship is like northeast, and this is like northeast east. So kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Maybe go into ship. I'm not sure.
In that direction. It's just is in that general direction. Possible. I will keep an eye out for them.
Okay.
We'll start going.
The group said they want to search for the survivors. We will go.
Rika, have any input on this?
No, Bruce is just trying to keep the group together and, get the unconscious people, someone to drag them along, but trying to get the entire group moving in that way.
What about Rika?
I don't think I'm there, aren't I?
You are. I brought you there.
Yeah.
I brought everybody. I brought all of the second load.
Okay, I was very confused. Like, the whole time I was like, wait, are they leaving me?
No, you got brought down.
I made sure I brought you to the camp.
Yeah, you were the first one brought down of the last 5 that were up there.
Yeah, I got that part. That's fine. I just thought it got me at the base of the plateau. Okay, never mind.
Because when he went up to get you the air, he saw that they were approaching the clearing, so he then flew you to the clearing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just...
I think you've been here for like 10 minutes now.
Yeah, that's time to regain consciousness.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so... Can I make a survival check to help, or...
What do you mean? With what?
Like, with tracking down Lockjaws, I suppose.
I'm gonna say no for now, just because we've already done it. But in the future, definitely ask questions like that.
Okay.
So, as the group is starting to head out, actually we'll turn back and see if injured Lockjaw is still there.
Well, it's on the other side of a rock.
Yeah, she'll saunter over and check to see if it's still just lying there. So trying to hide from the people, or if it's just already ran off.
Okay. We're looking for high with this dice roll I'm gonna make. Oof. No, the lockjaw is not there. And you can see some, do you want to give me some survival check as well?
Sure. Not one of her good skills, but...
Or perception. These would be for different things, but they are related to the lockjaw.
Either one don't matter. Either one's the same.
Or...
I mean, yes, but you should be like, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing with Ashley, instead of just being like, can I do skill checks with people down here?
Can I go intelligence for this one?
Yeah, the reason I brought the two different checks, the perception would be like if you're just trying to look around and see if you can see signs of the lockjaw, and then the survival would be like if you're trying to figure out where the lockjaw went.
Oh, yeah, she was just giving a general look around, see if she can find it.
Okay.
See if she can see it. So, probably perception.
Perception. And I'm going to give you a -1 penalty from the smoke.
Okay. Wisdom?
Sounds good to me.
Alright.
I think wisdom's the default for perception. You can make arguments for other things, but that's the default.
Wisdom makes sense.
We had that one where I made a perception check based on intelligence because I was looking for the layers of creatures I knew about.
Yeah.
A rock. But like, that was an exception. Oh.
Okay, well, you look around, Ashley looks around, and she doesn't see any signs of the lockjaw.
After she's done looking around, she'll see Wisdom scurried off to whatever remains of its pack, and she'll join the group.
Very least, I think that lockjaw probably will not attack you.
That'd be very nice, wouldn't it?
Well, you know, it would make sense. But yeah.
Depends on how well its memory is.
It's like dog. I mean, it seems like their base stock is dog. So it might very well be good enough to remember that kind of thing. Because dogs have one heck of a memory for things like someone who helps them or someone who hurts them. Those are the sort of things dogs remember.
Maybe one day you'll be able to find out what kind of animal a lockjaw was mutated from.
That is true. Maybe. I was just saying.
Yeah.
It seems like a dog.
Well, I mean, I use dogs as a reference point, right?
It's crossbred from a pug.
It was a
Oh
pug.
God.
Was it? Lockjaws are just mutated pugs.
Lockjaws are mutated pugs crossed with the predator dog.
Oh God. Were there I haven't watched all the Predator movies. Were there dogs in Predator?
Predators has the predator dogs.
I've only ever watched the original, so I.
Predators is the good recent Predator movie.
Oh, okay.
It's also the Predator, which is horrible.
I almost watched Alien vs. Predator a few nights ago, but I never watched Alien, so I feel like the context would be lost on me. I don't like scary stuff. It's scary, okay?
Alien vs. Predator Requiem was my favorite.
You can be disappointed in me, Steven, if you want, but...
No. I'm disappointed in Will.
Okay. Ha!
Requiem was a good movie. I like it.
Requiem. The only cool part was that it was literally like the Predator equivalent of John Wayne. Which was kind of awesome. but other than that,
Okay.
sorry.
Who is leading us through the burning woods? Okay. Navigation check. No, speak up, John.
So never mind.
Right. And okay, so this is based on the previous. It's intelligence. This. So I don't think I actually flew over this particular bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you the bonus here.
Around here, so okay, that's what I was checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is the navigation check a intelligence or wisdom one?
I've used intelligence for all the navigation checks thus far.
Yeah. Actually, oh wait, I forgot. I have one intelligence, so I could do a navigation check if need be.
You want to like work together? I mean, you can, if you wanted to come up to the front and also try to work together to navigate, the Woodkeeper's not going to say no.
You know, why not? I'm being risky.
He
He would want you to stand at least slightly behind him.
I
So you can get away. Since he knows you're hurt, you fell down a mountain.
I probably have that in my head.
Yeah, you fell down a mountain, and he's heavily armored, so he will want you to stand a little bit behind.
I can imagine she's just kind of staring at him like nonchalantly, so I'm okay.
I would like to get into the mind of Rika. Like, how is this navigation check? What is this representing? How are you helping Lord Keeper of the Book navigate through this burning forest?
I can tell direction by through the sun, and I can probably find a path in the direction that we need to. Direction that we need to actually go.
Did I not tell you what time of day it was? This is a serious question. Have I not? I feel like I might not have.
I feel like
You hear what time of day it was.
Okay.
Assumed it was good afternoon.
It is definitely nighttime right now. No, I did bring it up because I brought up that there was moonlight last session.
Oh wait, yeah.
So I didn't say specifically it was nighttime, but I said there was moonlight.
This whole time I thought it was mid-afternoon. Okay.
I remember now. Thank you.
Okay, how about the
I'm gonna look up through the smoke and I'm gonna use the stars.
Alright, being stupid.
I mean, people used to navigate by the stars all the time.
Yeah.
I would go with that if you weren't walking through a burning forest with a thick.
Okay, I
I'm
tried.
invincible.
Sign of the stars.
There's nothing wrong with you being up there and trying to help. I'm just not sure it gives a mechanical bonus.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for justification. I want a little bit of fluff with it.
Okay, apparently I don't have one, even though I tried, so never mind.
Maybe you did the equivalent of like take a mental snapshot when you were up higher and surveying with your gun and trying to remember and compare your mental shot
Oh,
with
yeah.
your mental snapshots.
Yeah,
What you
the
do.
other point is that I shepherd that. Yeah. You're smarter than me, Steve.
I mean, if you want to do via the stars, like, as well, I'd be okay with that. I'm still gonna have you roll either way. You just tell me what you're doing, which one you're going with.
That popped into my mind the fastest. Now, I'll just say I took survey.
I didn't hear that last part.
I'll just say that I'm just trying to remember how the forest actually works.
Okay. Give me a navigation check.
Not strength attributes.
No, this sounds like
Strength-based navigation.
this sounds like intelligence to me. No bonus.
Oh my fucking god. Okay. Remind me to never roll anything.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, that was a good roll.
Nice.
I rolled a 10, and I have my plus, I have my 1 from
my intelligence.
Lord Keeper of the Book made up for Rika's terrible memory.
Yeah, Roger just pointed entirely in the wrong direction.
I have been rolling terribly for this whole campaign.
Yeah, the cool thing is that the Lord Keeper of the Book has actually proven to be very good at the things that he is good at. He's been very consistently good at the navigation rolls and the survival rolls generally. This is his thing.
How can I be more like you?
Wait, did she actually say that? She actually
He will make it clear when it's in character. We've done a good job of doing that. Yeah, you did.
No. It was partially a joke on my part too.
I know
Oh,
exactly what you
okay.
can say.
You were about to join the Wasteland Knights.
Yes!
One of us. One of us. You guys want to hear some like real life apocalypse shit? I found out last night. I saw a meme that reminded me of this. Soylent Green took place in 2022. That is the most terrifying thing I've seen on Facebook in years.
It's like when they did the Back to the Future
like live thing when we reached to the point that they came to Back to the Future and they were making jokes about how clearly this is another alternate timeline created by Biff, where Biff reigns supreme despite Biff being a janitor and like that little skit they did.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Okay. Lord Keeper of the Book, with Rika's assistance, navigates the most difficult parts of any portion of this plateau, by far. Pretty thick forest, burnt down trees, thickest portion of smoke, almost all based on intuition and pre-existing experience. You make your way through there, everyone having to hold their breaths. You can hear little Jimmy, or whatever his name is, having a hard time doing it. But you all make it through there pretty quickly, too, until you get to the last piece of wreckage. And, well, it's not as big as the middle section. It's still bigger than the portion that most of you came out of. And it seems to have just landed on its side, and you can see a lot more debris away from the main crash landing that's gone like into the forest. A lot of small chunks that have flown out that direction. You see a few knocked over trees that are burning still.
Do we see a way inside?
Okay. That's a good place to start with. I don't know. Why don't you give me a perception check?
The Lord Keeper is going to be more looking for any sort of sign of the lockjaws or the men if she's gotten closer. I'm not sure if that would be another attempt at a survival to see if like we encountered any tracks again around here, or what you want me to roll for that.
Let me deal with Skylar's roll first. Yes. If you walk around the debris, basically like on the edge of this plateau, this is actually something that I personally think would be very beautiful to someone from Luna. You come around this corner, and for like the first time in your life, you look over this wide expanse of desert. You've never seen so much land in your life. It might just be desert, but this much space and nobody's in it. Fucking Earth is crazy. Yeah, you find a huge opening on the side of this piece of wreckage. Just looks like a big gash in the side. It looks like you could climb up to it if you wanted to. It is a little bit off the ground, but there's a bunch of debris underneath it that you could use to climb up, almost like part of it fell off. And it looks like you actually can't see much because of the elevated position, but it does look like there is space in there. Like if you get in there, there's more than you can see. Steven, I know you were talking about a couple different checks. I could see a handful of different checks, but I'd need more specifics on what you're trying to do because they could all justify different things.
What he's trying to do is he's trying to look around as we're coming in. He's trying to look around like the edges of this area where the ship came down and sort of cleared a space to look for any signs of any of the sort of telltale signs of the lockjaws or of men.
Okay. Yeah, give me. I think we'll start with perception. I could see survival though too. I'll leave it up to you.
I think
based on he's looking more for the more look for the like signs than it is for anything than it is for overt. I think it'll be survival for this one.
Okay.
Wow. Lord Keeper is doing that. Actually, probably go to the wreckage itself and see what she could scavenge at.
Okay. Let me
The Lord Keeper did not roll very well, so I don't think he sees much.
No, you are not going to see much.
Or maybe he sees a lot, but it's hard to distinguish what it is because of the fact that, you know, the spaceship landed here, and everything was all screwed up in the back.
There are actually going to be some obvious signs you're going to be able to find, but they're not going to lead anywhere prominent. In the direction of those knocked down trees that are on fire, you're actually going to find multiple corpses that have been feasted on, with some lockjaw imprints, but it seems like they have been all around the wreckage and along multiple places around these downed trees and a few different places going in and out of the forest. So they're kind of just everywhere.
Right. Okay. So he would look at those bodies, see if he can identify whether they seem like the people. I don't think he knows where they're from. Whether like these people or like the people he's familiar with.
Okay.
Like looking at their clothing and things like that, like the culture.
Okay. So here you identified some people last session being from the Big Grange. The thing about that is, I guess the Lord Keeper doesn't know this, but we as the viewers know that those two people he identified are already dead.
Okay.
But I would, I don't know, what check do you think would be applicable for this? Because I personally think it would be a culture check.
Yeah,
That's what I thought. I can do the culture. The big range culture check, I guess.
A big range culture check. Yeah, you can give me that. It's a couple different people. I actually, in this case, I think it would be a culture traveler because they're from multiple places.
Oh, okay. I don't have that.
That's fair.
Right. Okay.
Because the Big Grange guys are gone. The two you identified as Big Grange are dead, so it's definitely not them.
Okay.
Well, it was more. I thought that would be one that would work for trying to tell if these were the Luna people, or if they were people that he from here.
I guess. Okay.
I think you'd be able to tell they're not. I don't. Just give me the culture travel. I got some stuff to say, but I'll leave it up to the roll.
Okay. 6.
Okay. I'm gonna use your reroll, Steven. You can have your car back.
Okay.
I need to roll again.
Yeah.
What that means, essentially, right?
Yes. Okay. Nice. Okay. These people definitely don't dress like any people you've seen before, and I think it's safe to assume that these are people from Luna.
Okay,
He'll assume they're people from this group.
He doesn't
Yes.
know where they're from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, and he'll actually call out
Found
of your people.
The
The lock just been out.
Actually, never mind.
Yes, he would check to see if they have anything we can use. Because now we're at the point where we gather what we can. Can help them make it just one place. At least that's where his mind is at.
He's
Gonna look and see if they have anything on them.
Could be useful.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, roll me a d20, you're shooting for high.
It's a 10.
One more time.
16.
Okay. I didn't explicitly say it, but you were shooting for high. Give me a d100.
Sure. 27.
Find a crowbar on one of them. It's bloody.
Oh.
Bloody.
Now I need to look what a crowbar does.
I imagine it just helps you with different checks since it's not in the weapons category.
I would imagine that you're correct. I just
trying
trying
to
to find
find. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can definitely use a crowbar.
And I will have you roll one more d20.
Sure.
You're now Gordon Freeman.
Okay. Okay. Give me a d12.
6.
Okay. Yeah. This is great. They're not standard issue, I promise. You're gonna see a long metal pole that has a metal blade that's been bolted into it. It's this metal axe that you found. Person had a crowbar and an axe.
Oh,
Crowbar can be used as one hit clubs, 1d4 damage using strength. It's also good for prying open doors.
Nice.
You can two-hand it with for 2d4 damage.
Yeah,
The crowbar is actually pretty useful because it expressly noted as it's a tool for opening doors and the like. Normally destroy weapons. He'll definitely take the crowbar. And
Okay, so
he will carry the axe over and offer it to anyone.
crowbar is just better version of club.
Pretty much.
It is.
But it's also good for other things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he'll definitely take the crowbar.
Okay.
And
And he'll take the axe and he'll go over to the other group, anyone in the group, be like,
Okay. There's only gonna be 2 die roll for this, so let's get the first one. You want high?
You
talking to me again?
Yeah. We're checking the second person, right?
Yes,
I'm sorry. I realized that was...
wasn't saying. Okay.
Yeah, we just did the first person. Oh, wow. Okay. You got a ration. Dirty.
Right? Is this water or food or both?
So, they don't explicitly say on the plunder table, so I assume it's both. That's what I've been going with. So if I've handed out rations to you guys from a loot table, assume it's both.
Yes, a full day of what you need to survive.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I get why he asked though, because they do split them up. Makes sense. And I will get one more d20 from you. Once again, shoot for hire. Oh, nope, nothing. That's it. Just one ration on this person.
Okay.
And torn up clothes on both of them.
Okay.
Interesting that the crowbar is bloody, but the axe isn't.
That is interesting. Always, we'll take the axe over and right. On this, found a crowbar. Give you weapons. Use these. You still need weapons.
Wishen will walk up and you'll say, I have close quarters combat training. I can use that.
Right. He will hand you. He will. Right here. And the axe over. Are very capable and intelligent. Was quick thinking with Ivan.
If only it had been quicker. If I'd been up before he gotten down.
Survived. Do my best to keep you alive. Where are you actually from? I know you traveled here. Such craft. I have not seen a craft like this.
He points up behind you, up at the moon, and he says, "We're from Luna? There aren't many of us, but there are a few humans up there left."
He turns. The Lord Keeper turns. He looks up the sky to the moon. Turns and looks back.
Is this a madman standing in front of you?
No, he turns and looks back. He's thinking. He's the remote. He's like, not know. People lived there. Well, must be finding this very strange. I will not assume. Guys, girls, anything. This place is why you don't know me. Understand now. Know of the order. It might just be one of you who did, or two of you who didn't know, but it all makes sense. Know of the work you do. Just here. We'll make sure to tell you all of the order, of the dangers, to life, all of your comrades. Make it so we're safe. At least the safest exist here. My honor as a knight. Phew. Whatever. Say it like that. Gesture.
We appreciate all the assistance you've provided for us. But us Lunites are strong. Anything you can do to help will be appreciated, but I don't want you to feel like our people rely on you. Once we get off of this plateau, any previous obligation you feel like you had, consider it finished.
You place you Enclave can survive. Because if you don't know this world, this place, this land, many things that can kill you. I need to go to the enclaves anyway. Have business. Or maybe more of my brethren. I need to speak with any of them I find. I'm happy that you people. He nods. And understand, noble to not let any obligations on me.
If you spend much time around us before we get to this enclave you speak of, you'll find that we're a very insular group. Place we come from, there are many, many families, all of them competing with each other regularly. Find it hard to trust people outside of your family. And I worry that even amongst ourselves, we'll be very secular. I imagine it will be much harder for someone like you to get in and remain involved than someone who's already part of a family.
Well, you've helped many people. People who first not want help. Think things will work out. He actually takes the helmet, slides the helmet up, smiles.
I didn't think about it, but I'm sure, like, everyone in the setting has terrible teeth.
Almost.
I don't think his teeth are like as teeth go, his teeth are probably better than a lot of people's. They're still not awesome teeth.
That's fair.
I think he had pretty much all of them. Just kinda a little.
Oh, gross. Yeah.
Oh, you know, because
Because toothbrushes aren't a thing.
He slides the thing up and basically smiles, and you see that this thin-faced man with sort of yellowed eyes, and his teeth are also a bit yellowed from that. And his skin is pale, and he has brown length hair under that helmet.
I think at this point, the man that you brought down earlier, before Washen's wife, he would come over and ask you for the crowbar.
I will remove.
Okay.
Right.
And with that, Washen will nod at you, Lord Keeper of the Books, and then say, "We need to check this wreckage."
He will agree. And he's going to slide his mask back down. Helmet back down, protecting himself, but it's a sign of humanity.
He'll look over at the man who just grabbed the crowbar from you, and he'll ask for his name. And the man will introduce himself as Leo Chaucer. And then probably provide some military rank, but I don't actually know if that would be any different on... I don't know if Luna... Like, Luna's weird, but I don't know in what... Like, I don't know if they're going to be like, here is our modern-day military stuff, or if they have something, like, dumb. You know, something more primitive.
well, I'm gonna have to actually get off at this point about because it's 9:30.
Okay. I guess we can call it here with Leo Chaucer, I don't know, private third rank, something like that. Introducing himself as the three of you walk your way back towards the crowd.
Yeah.
I want to say, Jacob, it's a lot of fun.
I've been enjoying these sessions so much. Like, definitely my favorite game I got going on right now. How's everyone else feeling about him? What about you, John?
I do like it. I just have to find ways to actually get myself more involved. So
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, you're a little quieter this session, but that's That's how these games go. Some sessions you're more involved, some sessions you're less involved. Especially when it's something like this where we're not in combat most of the time.
True.
How about you,
You,
Skylar?
Skylar?
Yeah, I'm having fun.
Did anyone achieve any of their goals today?
No.
No.
Fortunately,
Paul
no.
is landing on his feet, and I think he's further consolidating himself into a leadership position in the group, so I'd say yes.
The
Breath Dynasty begins.
I'll give you the short-term one.
That's just a quick question. So does this mean that we could end up with situations where some of us are leveled up and some of us don't because some of us haven't accomplished goals?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned that at session 0.
In my last Stars Without Number campaign, we had someone who almost reached level 3 before anyone else got a level up.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't ask last session, but I'd say last session, all the loot that he got, that's pretty valuable loot, helped him as well on that one. Or maybe another short-term success on it, I don't know.
I think today you earned it, and I'll give you 200 experience for it.
Okay.
And you'll have to come up with a new one. And at this point, I think you guys, if you haven't, because I know some people haven't, you should have all three. I mean, you don't have to, but you should have those 3 goal slots filled in case you can get them done. Because you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't.
Yeah.
Well, my goals are the same. I'm not changing my goals.
Okay. Oh, that's important.
Made some really good progress towards one of my goals today because I managed to get all of the. I managed to get everybody down safely. I just have to get you guys to an enclave safely.
I knew it was an illogical fear, but I was like, oh god, they're gonna get off this thing, and I was supposed to prepare the day before. But you guys didn't get off. I still prepared for it today, but you didn't get off the plateau. We'll see how that goes.
We made some good progress.
There was a lot that happened today. I'm happy with it. Is anyone changing any of their goals? Okay.
Yes. For me.
I believe, if I remember correctly, it's 1,000 for the first level up. Maybe it was 2.
Yes.
It was 1,000.
1,000. Okay. So
Rest is almost a third of the way there.
Yeah, I think the book says you're supposed to hit second level like around like the finish of the second session.
Yeah. It says 2 or 3 sessions, but I did mention that I want to make it a lot slower. Yeah. I'm thinking like, I mean, I have a frame that I want it to be, but I imagine it's going to be different as we explore. Like, I'm imagining I want us to level up like 3 times slower, so like 6 to 9 sessions level up.
Well, I have a situation where it's actually kind of funny. I might very well fulfill multiple goals the same session, fill a midterm and all. It's just funny because of the particulars of my goal. It is very possible that I fulfill my
Cooperative group goal and my long-term goal in the same session at the same time.
No.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's just a matter of different people's goals happen in different ways. My short-term goal has not presented itself as a possibility yet.
Yeah, some of these are gonna take time.
I gotta run though, so I will talk to you guys later. It was very fun, and I look forward to continuing next week.
Have a good night.
See you guys.
Oh, and next week we are continuing on Thursday again, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, real quick, I was actually thinking, I'm sorry to do this to you, Steven. Steven, Will, you know, we said maybe doing a one-shot Sunday afternoon?
Yeah.
Are you guys still available then?
I don't have anything on Sunday, so yeah.
Well,
As far as I know.
okay.
far as
Do you
I
guys want to do some other dust then? We could do something tied to this.
Sure. Yeah. I will get. I can talk to you some tomorrow about it. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let you guys. I'll give you guys some details about that. Like tomorrow. But I will have you make characters. Like independently. Like you guys have done it before, so I don't really need to be around as long as you know what you're doing. So you can just prep for that. I have a couple ideas for the concepts, but I want to figure out exactly what they are. So like I said, I'll hit you guys up tomorrow night with like what I think would be the best way to tie in with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Could certainly do that. That's certainly something we do. And like I said, I'm not. Wait. Don't we need to roll things with you because like mutation rolls or things like that?
Well, I mean, I don't think you guys are gonna cheat, are you? Is that something I need to worry about?
Oh, I wasn't planning. If I do end up playing certain things, I have there's a couple of things that have pre-built sets that I've told you about before. So that ends up being the case. It's okay, right?
Yeah. I want to do something tied into what we're doing here. I just have a bunch of different ideas, so I want to narrow it down, kind of decide what would be best for us in that aspect, or what I think would be best for this specific group.
Sure. Okay.
I'm down for that. And I'll send me some information about it tomorrow. I'll take a look.
Awesome. Enjoy your game, man.
See you guys.
Have a good night. Any comments, questions, concerns from everyone else?
No.
Okay.
No. Alright, see you guys.
Later.
Have a happy holidays, John.
You too. Happy holidays to all.
It's reflexive at this point. Like, I personally celebrate Christmas, but happy holidays just rolls off the tongue better.
Doesn't it?
It
It's very alliterative.
yeah, feels nice to say.
When someone says, to me, when someone says happy holidays, it means they're basically saying happy wishes to all the different holiday celebrations, rather than just specifically Christmas.
Well, I know like some people get frustrated with that, where they're like, why should I have to say happy holidays? But like, I don't really care either way. Like you can say whatever it is for your holiday, or you can go generic. I don't really care. I just do it because it sounds nice. Do you know what your new short-term goal is going to be, Skylar?
I mean, I think the next short-term goal is going to have to be related to getting in good with the settlement and making a good contact there.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Integration.
That seems the most reasonable next goal to go to Dynasty.
Will, I will make a note. I think we've already talked about this, but your cooperative goal is very hard.
Yeah, probably is. If you really want me to, I could change it.
Well, just as like the amount of people required to do the thing you're talking about, if we're using like the logic from the book, the lowest that is 100 people. And that's able-bodied people. So yeah, it's a cooperative goal, yes, but it is very hard. It's not something that's gonna happen anytime soon. It's gonna give you a bunch of experience. That's the trade-off. I mean, potentially that could level you up, right? Maybe get a whole level out of that, or so, maybe even more. But it's gonna take a long time.
Yeah.
And like,
I'm trying to see if I can think of anything a little more feasible, reasonable.
like Skylar's, I gave him 200 experience for his short-term goal, but part of that is because his wasn't an easy short-term goal, and he did a lot of stuff to work towards it. So maybe keep that as a frame of reference. Like, he had a hard-to-achieve short-term goal. They did really well. That could have taken multiple more sessions. It could have not happened. There were a lot of ways that could not have gone in his favor, but
Yeah, that could have gone disastrously badly, really easily.
yeah.
As, like, a pizza.
I mean, has he been officially declared? You know, I never even thought about this. It's probably like, I think it's probably lords and ladies, but honestly, Skylar, if you have something better, I'm okay with that. It's probably dependent on the family. He hasn't been declared, I don't, fuck, what is Bress's last name? Lord Cruliat?
Yeah.
Cruliat? But, you know, maybe one day.
One day.
Are you gonna try and establish an oligarchy? Is that what you're gonna do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep on top, to be on top. Be born for this.
Question is, what type are you going to go for a specific form of oligarchy? Like you could be like maybe the Chinese dynasty or something like that.
I mean, I would just figure replicating what they have on Luna, but who knows? That depends on the surface.
Irontown's an oligarchy, maybe we can get on more of Irontown.
I'm just using the basics, like on the enclave system. Like oligarchy is one of the types of leadership you can have. There's also like theocracies, technocracies. There's a bunch of shit. I think monarchies is another option. Democracies.
Another great choice. I'll be king.
Mine too.
But Irontown is an oligarchy. I don't know if that matters, but the place you know about is an oligarchy. I'm actually interested to see how it's a weird spot I've put you guys in, but I think it's gonna be fun. Where like you're foreigners to this land, so there's some ways that that's gonna come up, like understanding places. That's gonna be a little weird. But because we've been so focused on like Lunites these last few sessions, it's been a lot of Steven having to roleplay his characters like there's some weird shit going on right now.
I mean, I imagine that's where the enclave are going to be too. It's like, yeah, really?
From the moon.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's really going to matter who you talk to, what their response is going to be. But there are definitely going to be some people that are like, these guys are fucking crazy.
You're like from a completely foreign land. They're like, okay.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about it. I hadn't put much thought into it because like the setting assumes clothes-wise. That's what I'm talking about. That like everyone kind of just wears whatever. But I was putting some effort in and thinking about it last night, and that's probably true to like a degree. I imagine it is, but I still feel like there's probably more established styles, so you could pick out as you guys have attempted to a few times and be like, this guy's from Luna, and or to be fair, Luna is kind of a weird one because technically lunar people, that is a type of people on Earth as well. So you might find people that to some degree are similar to you guys, or at least more so than other Earthers. But I imagine there is different styles depending on like at least when it comes to the enclaves or even some of the bigger nomadic tribes and whatnot, all still probably pieced together to some extent, but you'd be able to, if you knew him from a distance, be like, okay, that guy's from Irontown.
Right.
I'd imagine they each have their own little artistic traditions and their own, these little things that, make them a little different. Humans like to tribe up, so they always try to customize themselves.
Right? How am I different than you? That's the important question.
Yeah,
Yeah, how do I tell who's on my tribe?
What
What are they wearing?
And I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I've put a lot more effort into separating all the NPCs since our first session, now that I know you guys actually care about them.
Now they have names.
I literally had 0 names made up for session 1. I should have. But I was just like, okay, I could roll some names if they ask. I have a few rolled.
They're gonna die. Who cares about them?
Well, that, like, hypothetically, they all could have died. Some of them did die.
Yeah. Way less than I thought would have, though. We did a pretty good job of saving that group.
Right? 15 out of 85. That's pretty good. I'm being serious. That sounds like a joke, but...
You know, when you're falling to earth like a day fire by the defense system, and somebody walk away, you're doing
Yeah, I was being serious. I knew it sounded like a joke, but I was being serious.
Don't forget the fact that we were flying in a literal coffin made of scrap.
Yeah, it's rough.
Oh.
Have you thought of a cooperative goal, Skylar?
Not yet. Because I don't still really know the people that want to know what goal is going to be with the group.
That's fair. I mean, you could take it from another angle, though.
Yeah,
Like-
because it was specifically supposed to be like with other party members or something that we're supposed to say, yeah, and I don't know. I mean, there's
Yeah,
something about, you know, that would fit well of ensuring the group's survival and, you know, establishing some sort of place for the Lunarians or whatever we're calling them, the Lunites.
Blue Knight seems to roll off the tongue the best. I think we'll stick with that. I don't know. I imagined a lot of it as when I originally imagined the cooperative goals, they were supposed to be like ways for characters to like accomplish things together and like get to know each other better. So it's supposed to be more personal. But I could see you flipping your stance on that. Like right now, it seems like the way you're looking at it is like, what can I do to aid people something in their field? But what if you flipped it like that? What if you did like some kind of cooperative goal where it was like, get other people to help me with things? I mean, the intent is that the cooperative goals are supposed to reveal things about characters in between each other. That's honestly the intent behind it. So as long as it still does that, that's what makes me
I
happy.
mean, Russ getting people to aid him build his empire is definitely revealing something about himself.
Like I think the first example I did for these cooperative goals was like, have a tender moment around the campfire with so-and-so. But yeah, if I like the train of thought there, I assume that's what it would go to, helping establish your dynasty, since that's kind of the focus of your character. But if you can make one that's a little bit... I need specifics so I can judge if it's worth experience or not. But if you can give me one like that, especially if it's related to a specific character, then I would be happy to look at it. I'd love to see it.
You did just give me an idea for what I feel like would be a little more feasible as a cooperative goal.
Okay. Shoot. Unless you want it to be private.
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be private.
Okay. As a note, I do still have the stream on. I can turn it off if you don't want the public to know about it.
I'm okay either way.
Okay. Yeah, throw it out there.
Maybe like she actually misses her old society without a doubt. So I'm thinking maybe try to spread her knowledge of old Terran science. Try to teach. Try to be a bit of a teacher. Try to spread her knowledge.
Okay.
We try to create like maybe try to generally spread knowledge of old Terran science, and just generally try to create people who help and create intelligent people who could help bring back some semblance of the old world.
Okay. I like the idea, but two things. It seems way too broad. Like I don't see.
I know. I have to.
I'm going to slim it down.
Okay, that's the big one. I think if you do that, that'll make it a lot cleaner. Something we can quantify, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you mind if I?
Well, I don't know. It's like Steven earlier was so impressed but clearly didn't understand science at all. So some cooperative goal was teaching Steven about science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for the book, this Terran, the first one that they've met. It might be something that's actually achievable in a few sessions to some degree, and
I like it.
yeah, would be an interesting interchange between your two characters.
Would you be okay with me using your previous short-term goal as an example, Skylar?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read his off real quick, Will, and then I will talk about it a little bit. So he put, land on your feet. Bress wants to do more than just survive. He wants to start out his new life in the world in style. That means gathering resources, making friends, and establishing himself as a leader of the Lunarians, or as we're calling them now, Lunites. That one was broad to an extent, right? Like gather resources, make friends. There wasn't a specific number in mind or specific people, but it was specific enough that like I could quantify it, you know?
Essentially establish yourself in more than just survival. More than just for the sake of survival.
I mean, there's more than that, but yeah, that's the basic way to put it. I'm saying you can still have like a general idea. It just needs some more direction, you know?
Yeah.
I
I was trying to give Jacob enough to actually go on, to see, oh, you've done this. Yeah, you're doing that pretty well.
And with that, I think I'm actually going to end the stream, whether or not we're talking more, seeing as most people aren't here, and we've talked about pretty much everything I think needs to be discussed for the game. So for anyone watching, thank you very much, and we hope you have a wonderful night.